Jonas, would you bet on the euro here?
So all this talk about how great America is, and he keeps with the euro. I'm going to put all the money in the euro.
You've been saying this, Jonas, for a year now, and it's,
Jonathan,
it's getting boring.
All right, final word. Love you guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Had a great holiday. Take care.
And this is Fox News Live. I'm Jamie Colby.
And I'm Bridget Quinn. And let's start with a Fox News alert. A wildfire is now raging in the hills above Malibu, California. Some 20 homes have been destroyed and perhaps 200 others evacuated. Strong Santa Ana winds are fueling those flames. So far, 1,500 acres have been scorched. Casey Stegall live in Malibu. And Casey, I was just reading the latest numbers from the Associated Press. Does that jive with the information that you're getting there about the number of homes destroyed and evacuated?
Actually, we just got an update literally right before we came on the air. A public information officer with the LA County Fire Department gave me an updated number. He tells me that 35 homes have now been lost in this fire. It has been growing very, very quickly because of those Santa Ana winds. In fact, when we got the call this morning, we had heard that only 50 some odd acres were scorched, and just within a matter of a few hours, that number is now up to 1,500, and firefighters do not have a handle on it just now. I'm going to step aside now and let you take a live look at what's going on behind me. I am actually standing on the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH as it's called. It's the only road into Malibu. It runs right along the shore. In fact, the ocean is literally just to the right-hand side of your screen, but you can see all of the fire trucks that are lined up along PCH. This particular stretch of road has been closed down because not only the visibility is so low, but also the fire has jumped across the Pacific Coast Highway as the winds are blowing in the direction of the ocean to the west. And then if you can take a look at what's going on right back here, you can see the hills of Malibu is where this fire is burning right now. We have seen the aerial pictures all coming in this morning of this fire. It is not under control right now because of those Santa Ana winds. In fact, we are under a red flag warning through the weekend, which basically is issued by the National Weather Service. That means that the visibility is low and also the humidity is low and you have high winds. In fact, the National Weather Service is forecasting winds of up to 50 miles an hour today. Right now, the wind is relatively calm. And I got to say, from personal experience, it's a very different situation than a month ago when we were standing basically in the same spot here in Malibu, and we had winds gusting of about 80 miles an hour, and it was so difficult to stand. We have a lull period of the winds right now. They're not blowing as heavily, and I don't know if you can hear what's going on. It's actually difficult to see because of the smoke right now, but you have a lot of air units that are fighting these flames as well. You have a number of helicopters, in fact, about 10 helicopters, as well as 2 fixed-wing aircraft. And basically what they do is they go over into the ocean and they scoop up a tremendous amount of water, and then they fly to where the flames are really raging, and they drop that water out of the aircraft. They also try to drop it on homes to keep the homes from going up in flames. But again, updated numbers just real quickly if you're joining us. 1,500 acres consumed here in Malibu. 35 homes have been destroyed by this fire, and right now it is not under control as these winds are still whipping at the hour. And of course, we're going to stay here all morning, and we're going to have updates for you just as soon as they become available, guys.
Casey, I'm guessing you have the glasses on because of the conditions in the area. What does it feel and smell like where you are?
Well, the visibility is pretty low, and yeah, you're right. We've got the sunglasses on because there's so much grit in the air. Basically, when you have these fires burning, you have a lot of ash. In fact, when we opened up the doors to our news vehicle to get out, a tremendous amount of ash came inside the vehicle, and you can literally reach out and feel it in the air. And it's difficult to breathe at times. In fact, we've seen a lot of people walking around here with face masks on and things like that. It burns your eyes. You can feel the grit in your mouth, so that's why we have the shades on, not for a fashion statement, but instead to keep all this crud out of your eyes. The visibility and the air quality is very, very low. And when you talk about the ashes and things blowing around, one of the reasons why these fires spread so quickly is because of the winds. And not only do you have ash that's blowing around in the air, you have burning embers. And basically the embers can fly through the air with the wind and land on a home or land in a patch of grass, dry tinder, and there you have another fire. And that's how we see these things progress so quickly when you have winds this high.
So, Casey, you said that they're expecting these winds to hang around for the course of the weekend. How does that compare with last time round?
Well, last time around, we had solid winds for 4 or 5 days, and that humidity was so low. That red flag warning, again, means that humidity is low, which is just a lethal combination for fueling these fires. But we've heard a couple of different reports. In fact, we understand that that red flag warning, again issued by the National Weather Service, is going to be going on throughout the weekend. But local forecasters are saying that the winds should die down a little bit later today as we get into the evening hours. So that, of course, is good news, because when the winds go down, then the firefighters can get a better handle on the situation. So we're just going to have to wait and see what the day holds. But no doubt a number of the rescue workers here have their fingers crossed that the forecasts are right, and at least the winds will in fact die down so they can get a better handle on the situation.
All right, Casey Stiegel, right in the thick of things, literally once again there, California. Thanks a lot, Casey. We'll be checking back. Now, if you happen to be in the area, and if you are able to safely take pictures of this California wildfire, we would like to see them. Again, safety is the key. Send the pictures to youreport@foxnews.com. Jamie?
And the developing news in Southern California that at least 35 homes in and near Malibu are on fire. Hundreds of people living in homes above Malibu in the canyon, they are being told to grab whatever they can and get out. Wildfires kicking back up thanks to those Santa Ana winds that Casey was telling us about. And fire crews, though, were ready for this. They've been on standby for the past few days. Meteorologist Dominica Davis also standing by and always ready. The Fox Weather Center, she'll give us the latest on the weather there. Hi, Dominica.
Hi, Jamie. Well, the red flag warning does stay in effect for LA County and San Diego County through the weekend. However, the winds will come down by tonight and tomorrow. We'll see the winds slacken. A little bit of a break from the winds in downtown Los Angeles, right around the Malibu area, but the strongest winds are coming in LA County. There's our northeast winds, 35 miles per hour. This is sustained winds, not gusts. About 26 the further east you go, but you can see 17 right now around Los Angeles, Huntington Beach, a wind coming in northeast at 12. They'll pick up again. Winds start to die down by tonight. Red flag warning will stay in effect, though, through the weekend, and that will be because the dry conditions will stick around. Here's a look at the relative humidity. It will continue to drop through the day. 29% in Los Angeles. It's 12% right now in San Bernardino. Today's highs will be in the upper 70s. We'll see the same thing for tomorrow. The northeast winds, though, will come down a little bit, and that will help. But unfortunately, this high pressure will stick around through the weekend along with the dry conditions, so we will continue to monitor it throughout not only today, but the weekend. Jamie?
Thank you very much, Dominica.
All right, lots of news happening. Busy Saturday for you. Let's go to Courtney Friel with some of the other top headlines. Hi, Courtney.
Hey, guys. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Well, here's what's going on in the news right now. A small Canadian cruise ship has now slipped beneath the water's surface hours after hitting ice off the coast of Antarctica. Fortunately, all 154 who were on board are okay. They managed to get into lifeboats and inflatable rafts, but had to wait hours in sub-freezing temperatures until help could arrive. Take a listen to one survivor.
For a while how long a boat was going to take to arrive to rescue us. We all got a little nervous when the ship began to list sharply and the lifeboats still hadn't been lowered. Because, you know, lifeboats can be tipped over as they go down the side of a ship. We feel very relieved now. We're all sort of unwinding and happy to be up here warm and dry.
14 Americans are among those rescued. The survivors have been taken to military bases on King George Island in Antarctica. The plan is to try and airlift them to Chile today. Well, miles above the Earth, 2 astronauts from the International Space Station dancing with the stars. But for them, it's all business. They're in the middle of a 6.5-hour wiring mission, putting the finishing touches on a new wing at the orbiting outpost. It's all leading up to the arrival of the shuttle Atlantis next month. A shift in power in Australia, and it could have big repercussions for the United States. Prime Minister John Howard has just conceded defeat in this country's general election. Howard has been one of America's staunchest allies in the war on terror. Now, left-leaning Labour Party leader Kevin Rudd is set to replace him, and he's promised to withdraw his country's 550 combat troops from Iraq. Now, let's get back to Jamie.
Courtney, thank you. The chief prosecutor in Aruba isn't saying much about what the new evidence is that they have in the Natalie Holloway case. But newspapers on the Dutch island are claiming that the evidence is wiretapped telephone conversations between the Kalpoe brothers and Joran van der Sloot. phone conversations and text messages in which the three boys contradict the original stories they told police. A judge ruling on Friday the Calpos will be detained for at least 8 days, and Joran Vandersloot brought back to the island last night, appearing before a judge on Monday. Meanwhile, the chief prosecutor, Hans Moss, appearing on Fox and Friends this morning, confirming that he believes Natalee Holloway is dead, and he plans to take the case against the three suspects to trial.
If you don't have a body, is it easy to prove that the person is dead? That is difficult. I have to acknowledge that it is difficult. But there are possibilities to prove it. And we think we have set a good step now into that direction. And if you would ask me if I'm convinced she's dead, yes, I am.
Jussi Mansour is editor-in-chief of El Diario newspaper in Aruba, and he joins me now live. Jussi, this is the first time that we've heard from authorities that they believe Natalee Holloway is dead. What is different then about the arrest this time of these same three suspects?
Well, because it's practically a completely new case now. All the investigative team has been changed. We have a new lead investigator. We have 3 new prosecutors busy with this. And they seem to be very, very confident that they have serious evidence against all 3 suspects.
But they won't release what the evidence is, although there are these reports of these wiretapped phone conversations. Do you think there's more?
I think there is. I think they do have the communications records that they have accumulated during the past few months. But I also believe that when they went to the Kalpoor residence and principally to the Paul Vandersloot's residence and took away with them bags full of items, I believe that they found something there that has made them more confident with the case.
Right. In April, they did an extensive search of Vandersloot's house where he said Natalee never was. We don't know what the inconsistent statements might be at this point. What is reaction on the island then in the last 24 hours now that Vandersloot has been brought back?
Well, there is a big expectations here because people do want this case to be closed. I mean, they want it solved. They want Aruba to recuperate its good name that it always has had. And I believe they feel confident with the expressions of the lead prosecutor now, Hans Moss, who seems to be a very serious man in this case and other cases that he's handled so far since he's been here.
Yes, he did on Fox and Friends this morning, actually seemed highly motivated to get justice for Natalee, whatever that resolution is. Vandersloot in court on Monday. Jussi Mansour, always good to talk to you, Jussi. Thanks.
Same here. Bye-bye.
Bridget?
Well, Jamie, we have a fast-moving story and a fast-moving fire in the hills of Malibu, California. Yep, on fire. And the Santa Ana winds are back. Here's a live look at what's happening right now. People living in the area being forced to get out of their homes. We have the very latest information for you on what's being done to make sure this new fire doesn't get out of control.
Robert Nepper makes the prison break to Hitman. What you don't know could kill you. Plus, smoking hot supermodel Luciana Jimenez. Find out what makes her tick. Tonight, it's our special primetime lineup. Don't miss a moment. The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
Introducing Renewin, the only intensive release supplement for joint care and energy. Renewin with glucosamine and chondroitin improves joint comfort, joint mobility, and boosts energy. Renewin in stores now.
So do you believe in Santa?
I believe in cashmere.
Burlington Coat Factory. Holiday dressing up for the family with fabulous brands at famously low prices. Burlington Coat Factory. Just look at you now.
Should a man over 50 take the same multivitamin as a woman?
I don't think so.
One a day men's 50 Plus Advantage. The only complete multivitamin with support for prostate and heart health. Plus more ginkgo for memory and concentration. From One a Day.
I gotta tell you, business is booming. FedEx helps solve all our shipping challenges. Overnight, ground, even the heavy stuff. FedEx Express also ships internationally. These things are selling like hotcakes in India. India, huh? Now, isn't it difficult to ship there, you know, with customers and all? Yeah. With online tools and a dedicated customer service team, FedEx makes it easy.
Goose, this is Iceman. We've got a wild bird.
FedEx. International shipping made easy.
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare Supplement insurance card, too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
who answered all my questions about Medicare supplement plans.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare supplement insurance plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you thousands of dollars. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit, plus this free guide to understanding Medicare.
I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
and I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call 1-800-293-2965. Now, a personal health insurance advisor is waiting.
Tonight, could a new search uncover hidden clues on what really happened to Natalie? It's the new high-tech method that could provide answers. Plus, how close are investigators to cracking the Peterson case? Get exclusive live reports. It's a special edition of At Large.
And live pictures now back at the wildfire. It seems like deja vu. It's just a month ago that we saw these fires near Pacific Coast Highway, and today they are raging in and around Malibu, California. Again, there's already hundreds of firefighters on scene. They're trying to get a handle on this fire. It's already destroyed dozens of homes and blackened about 1,500 acres. Joining me now on the phone, Los Angeles Fire Inspector Sam Padilla. Thanks for being with us,
You're
Sam.
welcome.
What's your biggest challenge right now?
Well, of course, our biggest challenge is getting enough resources to protect every home possible. Normally on a structure response, we'll put 5 engines on a home. As you can see, multiple homes, you can't do that in this situation. You do the best that you possibly can by stretching resources and implementing every engine you can in front of a home in the fire.
Tell us about mandatory evacuations, and do you expect other areas to be affected shortly so people can prepare?
Yes, we have mandatory evacuations between Malibu Canyon Road all the way to the west to Canyon Dune, and all the canyons in between. The fire is moving southwest right now. The wind has died down considerably, but it is still affecting it.
And you were mentioning you usually send 5 units to one particular home, and they're spread out. Have you learned anything from last month, and would you call in other resources faster this go-around than you had last time? Not that you guys did not do the most incredible job, but can we learn anything in hindsight?
Well, you could learn something from every fire you have, but no, that's a no on did we respond to anything swifter. Every year we go through this. This is nothing new for us. I believe that the public's awareness is heightened by the firestorm that we had last month. But we project this, we prepare for this every year that we go through this. There's many a time that our units are standing by and nothing ever happens, and you never hear about it. But this is nothing new for us. We had pre-deploy strike teams. We had other resources, post positions filled, extra personnel brought in. We were prepared. This isn't anything that's new to us once again.
Sam, what is the best place for people in this area or outlying areas to go if they want to find out whether they're in an evacuation zone, whether there's shelters in their area?
They could call the sheriffs, the L.A. County Sheriff's Department, if they need to find out. It's not an area to go in. Pacific Coast Highway is closed from Malibu Canyon all the way to Canyon Dune.
All right,
and we encourage the public to stay out of that area. We need our mobility of our apparatus. We're bringing apparatus in from all over. We have over 500 firefighters with more than half of that being apparatus moving in these areas, up winding roads.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that everyone is evacuated that needs to be evacuated out.
And I'm glad you're giving the warning, and people should heed the call. Sam Padilla, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, a lot more on that coming up over the next hour and a half. We will have more on the fires, but first, Republican Fred Thompson has Rudy Giuliani in his crosshairs. Thompson taking on the former New York City mayor on gun control. We'll talk about it.
so much humanity came through here.
My grandfather came with a small amount of luggage and a lot of hope.
Everyone who came through here was looking for an opportunity and also passed down that opportunity to the next generations.
I thoroughly believe Ellis Island to be a national monument.
We should save these buildings. Some have been, but there's more to be done.
Help us out here, America, and help us save Ellis Island.
Go to weareellisisland.org. Sponsored by Arrow, authentic apparel since 1851.
Alex Klein is a real Geico customer, not a paid celebrity. So to help tell his story, we hired that guy who does those funny sound effects.
My car was totaled over 1,000 miles from home. So I called Geico. And in less than 10 business hours, I got a check for a new car.
Geico, real service, real savings.
Introducing the D64 series, the slimmest, lightest Aquas ever. From the leading innovator in liquid crystal television, Sharp.
Imagine that you give a laptop to a child, and that one child can come up with these great ideas. You give them the power to learn, the power to connect with all ideas around the world. Imagine the difference that we can make. Our goal is 1 laptop per child, and now you can help. Donate a laptop to a child in a developing nation and get one for the child in your life. Between November 12th and November 26th, you can help a child learn.
Fred Meyer Jewelers has a gift that will take her breath away, like this 1-carat total weight diamond ring for just $299. You'll save $496 during our 4-day sale.
For all those special times.
Fred Meyer Jewelers.
It only happened a precious few times. Led Zeppelin, captured live. And the best place on TV to see it is on demand from Comcast. Also, look for Mothership, Led Zeppelin's new release, in stores now.
During the 4-day sale at Fred Meyer Jewelers, you can surprise her with this 1-carat total weight diamond ring for just $299. You'll save $496.
For all those special times.
Fred Meyer Jewelers.
Log on to foxcollegesports.com.
Fred Thompson taking on Republican presidential frontrunner Rudy Giuliani, telling supporters that Giuliani needs to stop using his experience as New York City mayor to justify his position on gun control. Joining us right now, former Maryland Lieutenant Governor and Fox News contributor Michael Steele, and the editor of CitizenJanePolitics.com, Patricia Murphy. Before I have you guys weigh in, just want to give you a little flavor, if you will, of the argument going on here. We have a couple of quotes. First from Thompson saying that Giuliani simply supported about every gun control legislation that came down the pike, and I just disagree with him on that. And also saying that he relates everything to New York City, as you see there on the screen. Let's get Rudy's response. Okay. Rudy's response about this is essentially, look, yeah, you know, I support certain gun control legislation, but I was mayor of New York City, and I didn't want the guns to be in the hands of criminals. All right, Michael, let me go to you first. Do you think it's effective for Thompson to go after Giuliani on this topic?
To be honest with you, no. I mean, I think what he's trying to do is trying to, you know, do the conservative. I'm more conservative. I'm the true conservative aspect of this. But I'm telling you, conservative voters aren't in that mind frame right now. They're looking for someone who's prepared to step up and lead on the war, lead on the economy, and win against the Democrats.
Patricia, do you agree with that they're not in that mindset? I mean, I guess another way of phrasing the question is, do you think that gun control is going to be an issue?
Well, I think it will be an issue, particularly in South Carolina. Right now, Thompson has really tanked in New Hampshire. He's not doing well there. He hasn't gotten a lot of traction in Iowa. But in South Carolina, there are millions of gun owners, millions of hunters. Thompson is there today at a gun show So it's all about South Carolina for him. If he can do well, he's within striking distance of Giuliani. If he can do well there, he's got a chance February 5th.
Right. Michael, can Giuliani neutralize the argument by saying, yeah, you know, again, I'm a crime fighter. Nobody was, you know, tougher prosecutor, bigger crime fighter than me, and I didn't want guns in the hands of criminals. Does that neutralize Thompson's argument?
Well, I think it does to a certain extent, because what Giuliani can talk about, and very few others in the campaign on both sides can talk about, is executive leadership. I mean, this campaign so far has been dominated by members of Congress, Senate, and the House. And you've got the governors who've got real hard-born executive leadership, and the mayors who run cities and manage budgets and had to deal with the political consequences of decisions in the moment. And I think that he can blunt some of that. But I think your guest is right. She's dead on point in terms of South Carolina and trying to frame the debate in the minds of South Carolina voters. You know, when you look at Giuliani, you got to look at him with a funny eye, because he's one of those New Yorkers who supported gun controls, where I'm with you on guns. But I'm here to say that the party is beyond that at this point. It's beyond one issue that's going to determine who the nominee is going to be.
Yeah, and Patricia, the other thing about that argument, like, oh, yeah, New York City, different than the rest of the country, but that's sort of the point, isn't it? I mean, that's Giuliani's argument, that I went in there and I cleaned it up.
That's right. That is how he'll blunt that. But for Thompson, if you listen to him closely, he doesn't say New York, he says New York City. And so that kind of is recalling that Pace, Picani ad, that these are people who are liberal, they're strange, they're not like South Carolinians, and they're not like the rest of the country. It's really Thompson's only hope. He's not doing well, he's grasping at straws, but it's time for him to grasp at straws.
Patricia Murphy and Michael Steele, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
And want to remind everybody that coming up tomorrow, it's a Fox News Sunday you absolutely cannot miss. The guy we were just talking about, presidential candidate Fred Thompson, sitting down with our own Chris Wallace, unveiling his plan to reduce taxes. That's tomorrow. Just check your local listings for the time in your area.
And this new wildfire we've been telling you about is raging in already devastated Southern California. A live look at Malibu, the flames burning more than 1,500 acres just since early this morning. People there grabbing what they can, running from their homes. We're watching this developing story very closely, and we'll tell you the very latest next.
Oh, we stopped off at every outlet mall that we could. It was great. And everything that I wanted was on sale. What is it, boy? And I bought all of it.
Could have had a V8. 100% vegetable juice, with 3 of your daily vegetable servings in every little bottle.
When mucus keeps your child up at night, you need new Mucinex Cough Mini Melts, the great tasting way to break up mucus and quiet coughing. New Mucinex Cough Mini Melts. Mucinex in, mucus out.
Faith can add 3 years to your life. So live longer, retire stronger, never outlive your money.
Introducing a world first. Braun Pulsonic. Powered by unique sonic pulses, over 10,000 microvibrations help expose and shave more hair with every stroke. For Braun's most thorough shave ever. The new Braun Pulsonic, powered by unique sonic pulses. Voted best electric shave ever, Braun Pulsonic. It's the perfect gift.
Houdini the magician escaped from handcuffs in 3 seconds. Houdini the corkscrew opens a wine bottle in 3 seconds. Houdini the magician escaped from an underwater trunk, presto. Houdini the corkscrew ejects the cork, presto. Houdini the magician was locked in a straitjacket high over the city and escaped. Houdini the corkscrew was tested for 20,000 cork pulls and never failed. The Houdini corkscrew by Metro Cane.
Ah, the fruits of big banking. This wobbly table is driving me mad.
Good afternoon. I've got a great business plan to make next year even more profitable.
It's a small business owner. He probably wants a loan, but I've got a better idea.
What about my business plan?
That's it. Perfect. He's good for something after all.
Does your bank think small about your small business? Call Capital One instead for no-hassle business loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. Check your mailbox.
Hello, Capital One.
I want a loan. I want a loan.
What's in your wallet?
Yet another wildfire raging in the hills above Malibu, California. About 35 homes already destroyed, and about 100 other homes have had to be evacuated. Today, there are strong Santa Ana winds expected to continue for several days, and they're fueling the flames. So far, some 1,500 acres have been scorched. Casey Stiegel is live for us in Malibu, braving the conditions to bring you the very latest. Casey, the fire inspector we had on told us that 500 firefighters are already on this fire. We've been here before. Do you get the sense that they believe they can get some containment today?
Yeah, Jamie, deja vu, I got to say, because we were standing in just about the same spot about a month ago when all of California, it seems, caught on fire, and it started right here in Malibu, not far from where we are, Pepperdine University at that time. And to answer your question, yes, firefighters believe that they may be able to get this thing contained a little bit better than that fire we saw a month ago, simply because the winds are not as high. Now, they are still high. I don't want to give you the wrong idea there. In fact, forecasters expecting gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour today, but a month ago, those winds were 80, even 100 miles an hour. So the winds also are supposed to die down a little bit later today, even though that red flag warning is still going on throughout the weekend. Let's show you what's going on right back here behind me. The hills of Malibu burning right back here. In fact, you can see the Pacific Coast Highway is this road that I'm standing on right now, the PCH as it's called, and even though there seems to be a fair amount of traffic on here, this road is actually shut down in this particular stretch. The only people moving along it are media and also emergency vehicles, but you can see all of the smoke in the sky, and you can also see the black scorched land along that hill there. In fact, you can see, Mark, if you pan down just to where the hill meets the roadway there, you can see where the fire crept down this particular hill, and it also jumped the Pacific Coast Highway in a few spots. In fact, this fire burning toward the west, that is the direction of the winds right now, because the Pacific Ocean is just on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, real quickly, let's show you this going on live, Mark. If you can, take a look, you guys. You have an air chopper that is in the air, and it's flying over the ocean right now. That bucket is hanging down off. And basically what happens is they fly over the ocean and they pick up water, and then they fly back to where this fire is really raging, and they drop the water on the flames. They also drop it on property in the line of the fire to keep it from spreading to homes. But unfortunately, their efforts haven't entirely paid off, because we know for sure that some 35 homes have already been lost in this fire. The amount of acreage that is burning has continued to rise this morning. In fact, right now we understand that still some 1,500 acres have been scorched, and there's no sign of containment at this hour.
Yeah, and you know what, Casey, just as you're out there in the middle of it doing your thing, our newsroom was checking. They're now saying the number jumped again to 2,000 acres destroyed. Casey, can you give us a sense of how the evacuations are going this time around?
Yeah, we understand a little bit of conflicting information. We've heard 100 homes, 125, 150 homes evacuated, but we know for sure that an evacuation center has been set up at a local high school here, and a number of those residents who were forced out of their homes this morning, obviously a wake-up call that they did not want to get, because this thing started at about 3:30 local time, that's 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. And we know that those people are going to that local high school. And we also understand that the number of evacuees is growing as this fire continues to spread. And that's pretty amazing. Just within an hour or so, that number jumped from 1,500 to 2,000. That gives you an idea. It gives you a sense of how quickly the flames are growing. The firefighters just can't get a handle on this thing because the winds are so incredibly strong and that relative humidity is so low. And that's why the National Weather Service issues a red flag warning. And again, it's in effect all through the weekend, although local forecasters are expecting the winds at least to die down later today. No doubt firefighters have their fingers crossed that that will be the case, as they put an awful lot of resources in this to try to get it under control.
All right, Casey Stiegel, right on top of a fast developing story. Casey, thank you very much.
Meanwhile, another big story, the search effort for a missing Illinois mom, it will be getting some help today. The FBI getting involved in the search for Stacy Peterson, paving the way for the possibility of technical assistance from the U.S. Navy. Laura Engel is live in Bolingbrook, Illinois with more. And every day of development, Laura, the FBI coming into play now. What's the impact on the search?
This is absolutely huge. FBI expected to be here over the weekend and start helping out on Monday. And they, of course, are continuing in the massive search that's already going on. And we want to let you know that a statement has been released from Drew Peterson's attorney, released exclusively to GretaWire.com. If you've been following the case, you've been on her website. But we want to read you in part some of that statement. The FBI, Brodsky says, knows how to separate rumor and suspicion from fact and evidence. The FBI has been known to clear suspects' names who have been targeted by local authorities just as much as they make arrests. We believe the FBI will clear Mr. Peterson's name in the Kathy Savio and Stacy Peterson matter. So that is just coming to us in the last 30 minutes. It is bitter cold and windy here today in Bolingbrook, but that is not stopping the efforts of Stacy Peterson's friends and family from hitting the ground today and looking for her around bodies of water. That has sort of been the main thrust of where everybody is looking. Of course, family and friends can't get in the bodies of water, so they're going all around it. Now, right now, volunteer searchers are fanning out around the Johansson Farm Park in thick brush and high grass. This has been searched before by the family, but search more thoroughly today to see if anybody has missed a spot. It's been 4 weeks now since 23-year-old Stacy Peterson was seen or heard from. Her children with her husband and 2 stepchildren are being cared for by Drew Peterson. Police have named him as a suspect in her disappearance, but not one in the suspicious death of his 3rd wife, Kathy Savio. Family and neighbors continue to find it pretty strange that Peterson has not asked them if they have heard from his missing wife and that he has not helped in the search to find her. Complete strangers, they say, are doing more to help.
Well, it's the weekend after Thanksgiving, and everyone has spent their Thanksgiving with their family, and Stacy's not with her family, and I was going to go out shopping this morning, and on the news I heard that they were going to start a search for Stacy, and this is where I needed to be. I decided not to go shopping and got dressed and came here as soon as I heard. And I was hoping that they didn't start before I got here, so I'm glad to know that I was here in time to begin the search to bring Stacy home.
According to published reports, a neighbor told police that he saw the former Bolingbrook cop load a blue barrel into his SUV with a friend shortly after Stacy vanished. Now, several blue barrels have been found during the search near bodies of water, but so far have turned up no real forensic clues. That is certainly going to be a main area of investigation in the weeks to come. Maybe the FBI can help out with that. Now, as the search continues here in Bolingbrook today, a real sense of sadness hangs in the air. Thanksgiving is behind us. Christmas decorations are out all over the place here, and still no sign of Stacy. And we've been talking about that search. New T-shirts printed today. I want to show you, Jamie. This is what everybody here is wearing today. If you go to our blog and our website, you'll see Stacy's sister wearing this, all the friends and family walking around with this with information on the back. Bright blue T-shirts to show that the search for Stacy continues here today. Back to you.
All right, Laura Engel, thank you. Much more on this case coming up with our legal panel and where Drew Peterson now says Stacy is. That's ahead.
And a lot more coming up right now in the form of headlines. Let's go over to Courtney Friel. Hi again, Courtney.
Hi again, Bridget. Let's get you right out to North Texas, where a manhunt is underway in the Dallas area for a group of bold robbery suspects. Let's take a look at this surveillance video. The situation, it plays out like a scene from a movie. The suspects are armed and dressed in camouflage. They tie up 3 security guards and lock them in a closet. This all happens at the First Baptist Church in downtown Dallas. Then they rip off 8 flat-screen TVs. Police say they took off in a silver pickup, and so far no arrests have been made. A man suspected of kidnapping and sexually assaulting his ex-girlfriend leads San Diego police on a wild chase and ends up dead. Cops had been alerted to the situation when someone noticed the pair at a gas station, so they arrive at the scene and the man takes off, later crashing into a fence, but he apparently keeps trying to get away. That's when an officer opens fire and the suspect is shot and later dies. A Wisconsin man is lucky he didn't become Thanksgiving dinner for a black bear. Jim Zamatis and his family, they go hunting every Thanksgiving, but Jim found himself face-to-face with a 300-pound bear. The 6-foot animal lunged at him, biting him 3 times before a family member fired a shot, scaring the bear away.
Over your head and keep screaming, and pretty soon I felt the bear on me, and then I felt chomp chomp.
Jim says this is one Thanksgiving where he truly had a lot to be thankful for, like his life. Well, a person in Italy could soon own a little piece of the Lone Star State. Someone there has placed a $3.8 million bid on eBay for the town of Albert, Texas. Remember that when that was up for bids? All right, the 13-acre town offers a dance hall, a tractor shed, a 3-bedroom house, plus peach and pecan orchards. If the deal falls through, the current owner says he has about 5 other prospective buyers. And now let's go back to Bridget.
All right, Courtney, thank you very much. We'll be checking back. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton among the Democratic contenders for president, now trying to win over voters in Iowa. Polls now showing the two in a virtual dead heat. Steve Brown live about that from Council Bluffs in Iowa. Hey, Steve.
Hey there, Bridget. Yeah, Thanksgiving break is over, and now for the Democratic campaigns, it is now full-blown sprint mode here in Iowa, with 2 of those campaigns, as you mentioned, spending this weekend here in Iowa as campaigning gets underway full speed once again. One of those will be Barack Obama, an event here to begin in about 20 minutes. If there is an added bounce in the Illinois senator's step these days, well, that might be because of a recent ABC News Washington Post poll showing Obama out in front in Iowa, but within the margin of error. Next is Hillary Clinton, followed by John Edwards. It is important to note, because of the margin of error in this poll, mathematically speaking, this is a 3-way statistical tie for the lead. Senator Clinton is also making a 2-day western Iowa swing after getting in some rare downtime for the holiday. As for former Senator John Edwards, there are some here in Iowa who begun to forecast that he might be done after Iowa if he finishes a projected current 3rd. But please remember, folks, that 4 years ago, Howard Dean was in the catbird seat here in Iowa, and Dean then the front runner finished 3rd. It is still very, very early out here, but it is getting a little bit late to say early. Here's some numbers to stop and think about here for a second. Most folks at home know that there's 30 shopping days left until the holidays, but there's 40 days left until the caucuses begin. If you subtract Christmas Eve and Christmas Day as likely days in which most of the campaigns will do little or no campaigning out here in Iowa, that means 38 days, plus the added challenge of trying to cut through the din of the Yuletide season. You've got Hanukkah, you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's, all packed in there. Those are all holidays which traditionally take a lot of family preparation time and a lot of attention away from other things. It is interesting because some of the campaigns are already beginning to adjust their approach to accommodate the holiday season and the caucus that follow right afterwards. Bridget?
Yeah, it's coming a lot closer than you think. Good point. Steve Brown, thank you so much.
We're keeping a close eye on a developing situation in Malibu, a serious and dangerous wildfire. More than 500 firefighters already on scene. More than 35 homes in the hills destroyed. Hundreds of others are threatened. There are mandatory evacuations in place. We'll tell you where next.
Holloway bombshell. Bjorn Vandersloot and the Calpo brothers are rearrested. Will new evidence prove they're responsible for what happened to Natalie? Greta's live from Aruba with the latest. Only one has owned this story from the start. Don't miss a moment.
This is the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. You know what's great about this card? Wherever you go, nationwide, your coverage travels with you. And that's just one of the many reasons you need the card you can trust. Because with AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance, you get things like a full range of plans, personal health insurance advisors to help you make the best decision, and so much more. If you're turning 65 or older, or you've already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan, call now for this free information kit and Medicare guide to help you navigate today's complex health care environment. Learn why these Medicare supplement insurance plans are the choice of millions of Americans and are exclusively endorsed by AARP, an organization that's all about life after 50. AARP Medicare supplement plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, help cover some of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare alone. This could save you thousands of dollars out of your own pocket. Plus, you can choose any doctor or hospital in the U.S. If you're shopping for Medicare prescription drug coverage during the limited open enrollment period, remember that our Medicare supplement plans work with any standalone Medicare drug plans. Call now so you're covered for both. Look, you want to do away with almost all claim forms? Like the sound of no referrals needed to see a specialist? With this card, you get all that too. Finding the right coverage can be really challenging, especially since Medicare supplement insurance is now more important than ever. That's why the legwork's been done for you. So feel great about making a smart, informed decision and call to get your free information kit and Medicare guide. Then you'll find out more about a full range of plans, personal health insurance advisors, and coverage that travels nationwide. Yep, this is one great card.
Sunday, an exclusive interview with Fred Thompson. His numbers slipping. How does he plan to turn the tide? And immigration, taxes, national security. Chris Wallace asks the tough questions on Fox News Sunday.
A very fast-moving story to tell you about on this Saturday. Look at that picture. There is a wall of smoke and flames right now over the hills and canyons around Malibu, California. At last word, some 35 homes have already been destroyed, some 2,000 acres already consumed, and some 500-plus firefighters are battling this one. Another 200 homes are threatened. Last word we had from our man on the scene, Casey Stiegel, the winds at about 60 miles an hour, and there is a red flag warning in effect through the course of the weekend. We are following this story very closely. Much more straight ahead right here on Fox.
So were you brave enough to head to the stores yesterday? Hopefully you didn't end up black and blue from the Black Friday shopping madness. Here's some good news, though. On Monday, your shopping bargains can be found right at home online. It's called Cyber Monday, and they'll be offering up deals on the internet for all your holiday shopping. But there are some important things you need to know before you type in your credit card numbers online. Sally Greenberg is the executive director of the National Consumers League and joins us now. And I hear these tips every year, but when I took a look at some of the ones you suggested, Sally, they were ones that you might not think about. The one that struck me first was, how do you know if a website is secure?
That's right. When you enter into a transaction with a merchant and you're asked to put your personal information and your credit card information in, you want to make sure that that HTTP that's at the beginning of the URL when you're on the website turns into SHTTP or HTTPS. And that lets you know that the merchant is turning that information that you're providing into an encryption that only the merchant can read, and that a hacker can't come in or someone can't invade your website or their website and your email and steal that information from you. So that's an essential protection. And a lot of times you'll see the browser might have a lock on it, and that lock will close or a key will close, and that indicates that your personal information is going to be safe.
You also say to never enter your personal information on a pop-up. A lot of people might not know what that is. I think it's the ads that come up, but is that within somebody's website, and what should you do about it?
Yeah, legitimate merchants will not put a pop-up box and ask you for either your Social Security number or your credit card number. When you see that pop-up box, or when you see there's also another scam, a phishing scam, which that's spelled P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G, and that is another area where consumers are getting scammed, and we're seeing it a lot at the National Consumers League, where they will, the identity thief will send you an email suggesting that there's been a problem with your credit and that you need to provide your Social Security number or your credit card information. Legitimate companies do not put pop-up boxes on their website, and they do not send you an email asking you to correct your credit problem. They will contact you directly. So don't fall for that. You don't want the cyber Grinch to be stealing your holiday fun away from you.
You also say, and I think this is great advice too, to check your statements at the end. You could do so much shopping between the stores and online and not really keep track, so you can see if there's a problem. But bottom line, is it safe to buy online during the holiday season?
For the vast majority of consumers, yes, it is safe. And reputable merchants will have a privacy policy. They will have an encryption system that protects your personal information. Any legitimate site should have a cancellation policy, a refund policy, privacy policy. And you want to, as you said, you want to use credit cards. And you want to make sure not only are you checking you want to copy the invoice when it comes across your screen. Keep a paper trail so that you know the physical location of the merchant you're buying from. And you want to keep all of that in a safe place. And if you also have...
So you have recourse.
You'd have a lot of recourse under federal law as well.
Sally, great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Want to get back to the fires now, too, Bridget?
Yeah, that's right, Jamie. Let's go back to those live pictures. Our cameras obviously trained on the scene there, Malibu, California. This is a fast-moving blaze. It has already destroyed some 2,000 acres. And it just broke out at about 3:30 California time this morning. The warnings had been there that those treacherous Santa Ana winds were going to be kicking up again, and so they have. Gusts up to 60 miles per hour, not quite as bad as last time, but definitely a huge problem for the 500-plus firefighters working to extinguish those flames. Our live coverage continues right here on Fox.
From tornado-devastated Greensburg, Kansas, to hurricane-stricken New Orleans, the Partnership for Prescription Assistance is bringing hope to people in need and communities in crisis. This is Montel Williams. The PPA, sponsored by America's pharmaceutical research companies, has been to 1,500 cities in all 50 states, helping more than 4 million struggling Americans. If you're uninsured and need a hand paying for medicines, call now to see if you may qualify, because America's pharmaceutical research companies want to help.
We go behind the curtain, the meeting rooms, the boardrooms, between the lines, inside the factory, behind the speeches, all in the pursuit of insight, the kind that informs every decision, every recommendation, and every investment idea that we present to our clients.
Do you know what the Precision Team Award is?
You know, I don't know what that is.
No? I'm sorry?
It's the highest award that Acura awards dealers. Is that right? They do okay?
These are Precision Team trophies. Acura gives them to us based on how the dealership treated you, how the buying experience was. Right now, we're rated #1 in all of the world for these awards. So it's something we're very proud of.
Ron Tonkin Acura on Canyon Road in Beaverton. You're not just a customer, you're a guest. All for the love of cars.
Hey, the holidays are with us once again, and we are with the owners of Mattress World, Sherry and John Heiner, once again, celebrating a giant Thanksgiving weekend sale. Sherry, you've got something the competition really cannot touch.
We have mattresses starting at $89 each piece when you buy the set. That's twin, full, queen, or king.
And that's at all Mattress World locations. Now, Sherry, you got a queen pillow top.
Queen-size pillow top set for just $4.99, and that includes 2 free pillows.
I tell you, if you have relatives coming in, it's great. John's selection is just terrific.
Largest selection in the Northwest. Sealy, Simmons, Stearns & Foster, Carrington Chase, Comfort-Pedic, Englander, you name it, we have it. Memory foam, latex, air beds, inner spring mattresses. It's all under one roof.
And it's all available with great terms.
1 year, no interest, no payment.
Hey, John, something ends this weekend.
This is the final weekend. To buy a bed, get a second bed free. It's a $500 value, and it's free to you.
Hey, Mattress World all weekend long celebrating a giant Thanksgiving sale. That's Mattress World. Where?
It's not too late to sleep like a baby.
Hi, Brad Tonkin once again at Wilsonville Nissan. With record low prices, we're making it hard to choose. You could drive home this 2007 Murano with leather, moonroof, and luxury features for only $24,888. Then again, the rugged 2007 Xterra with four-wheel drive and power everything is only $28,888. And to make it even harder, we have 10 acres of inventory. We're clearing them out here at Tonkin Wilsonville Nissan. Just off I-5, take the North Wilsonville exit 286 west to 95th, or visit us at Tonkin.com. All for the love of cars.
A Fox News alert, we take you right back to live pictures in Malibu Canyon of these wildfires that have been raging since about 3:30 this morning. 500 firefighters trying to get it under control. It is still 0% contained at the moment. 2,000 acres already affected. More than 35 homes have been destroyed, and more are in its path. The Santa Ana winds, though not as strong as they were a month ago, are still creating havoc there in this area. And as you may know by now, Pacific Coast Highway, which is right in the middle of Malibu, one road in, one road out, and firefighters need to use it. So they have closed it to traffic. They're asking people to keep in touch for the very latest information. They do expect more evacuations to come, and we will bring you the very latest.
All right, in the meantime, I want to tell you about some interesting news about the AIDS epidemic that came out this week. Top scientists at the UN cutting down, actually lowering their estimate of those infected with HIV, the virus that, of course, causes AIDS. But the lower number is more of a revision, as the UN scientists acknowledge they overestimated the epidemic. All right, well, obviously this news has raised a lot of questions. Let's talk with our next guest about it. We are talking today with the co-director of AIDS-Free World, Stephen Lewis. Mr. Lewis, good to have you here. Why were the UN figures on the AIDS epidemic too high?
They were too high because they were originally based on what we call antenatal clinic surveys, pregnant women coming to antenatal clinics and in urban centers, and then extrapolated to the country as a whole, and that gave a skewed number. When they began to do random, what we call population-based surveys across the entire country, they learned, when they took into account the rural areas and others who were infected, they learned that there was a rather lower prevalence rate, and so the numbers dropped by more than 6 million. It was quite dramatic.
Mr. Lewis, not to boil it down too much, but did the UN mess up here?
Well, I think it was clear that over the last few years they've had a lot of knowledgeable people, epidemiologists and others, who said to them, you're inflating your figures, the numbers aren't as large as you're suggesting, this is still an apocalyptic phenomenon, this is a catastrophe, you don't have to increase or inflate the numbers, just give the actual numbers, and that's why this correction was made.
Right. Now, maybe this was said by cynics, you tell me. There had been some suggestions that maybe the numbers had been inflated so that there would be more money to be used on fighting the epidemic. Do you buy that?
Bridget, I don't buy it. I think that is pretty cynical. I think it was a genuine statistical error which was corrected over time. I feel sorry about it because, in truth, it takes the focus away from the pandemic itself. We have a terrible situation continuing, for example, on the African continent. It's an absolute nightmare, and whether you're dealing with 33 million people infected or 40 million people infected, it's a pretty terrifying scourge. So to be distracted by a mathematical adjustment seems to me to be unfortunate.
Stephen Lewis, the co-director of AIDS-Free World. Mr. Lewis, thank you very much.
Not at all.
A deadly scene to report in Pakistan. Homicide bombers attacking a military bus. It was located just outside the gates of an army building near Islamabad. A number of the employees there from Pakistan's intelligence agency, they were on that bus. Greg Palcott is nearby and live in Islamabad. Greg, what's the latest on this violence?
Hey, Jamie, 2 deadly car bombs, in fact, rocking Pakistan Security Center. One, as you noted, targeting a busload of employees for the ISI, that's Pakistan's intelligence agency, near the agency's headquarters, one of the headquarter buildings in Rawalpindi. That's near where we are right now in Islamabad. Another bomber hit the entrance of the military headquarters in that city. Authorities are telling us that they think that 15 were killed, but we were at the scene. We saw the charred remains of that bus, and our own contacts on the ground think the toll could be much, much higher. The growing wave of militant attacks here, in fact, is a main reason that Pakistan President Musharraf has called the state of emergency here, now in effect 3 weeks tonight. Meanwhile, the Pakistan Election Commission today announcing that they have ratified the re-election win last month of President Musharraf, and he's expected to step down as military boss and be sworn in as civilian president maybe in just a couple of days. Finally, set to return tomorrow, a Musharraf foe, a former prime minister here, Nawaz Sharif. He's been in exile for 7 years. He was blocked the last time he tried to come in. Musharraf is under pressure from a lot of different quarters. He's expected to allow him back in. He and former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto could give Musharraf a little bit of political difficulties in the weeks and the months to come. Back to you, Jamie.
Greg Palcott live in Islamabad. Greg, thank you.
Well, here we go again. Those Santa Ana winds have kicked up as promised, and they are consuming acres upon acres of land and homes, too, in the area of Malibu, California. At last word, anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 acres have been consumed. Firefighters obviously working frantically to try to get things under control. The forecast is for windy weather, though, sorry to say, during the course of the weekend. We have our eye on the story. Much more coming up here on Fox.
I'm Phyllis Ocean, and this is my story. When I was diagnosed, my arthritis was in my knees. My youngest son, he plays football. I couldn't go see his games because it's very difficult. Climbing the bleachers is painful. I started using Aleve, You don't know how good you feel until the pain is gone. My son knows that I'm there now because when I scream, he said, Mom, I can hear you over everyone. Hold him, Jay, hold him! The leave works for me.
So much humanity came through here.
My grandfather came with a small amount of luggage and a lot of hope.
Everyone who came through here was looking for an opportunity and also passed down that opportunity to the next generations.
I thoroughly believe Ellis Island to be a national monument.
We should save these buildings. Some have been, but there's more to be done.
Help us out here, America, and help us save Ellis Island.
Go to weareellisisland.org. Sponsored by Arrow, authentic apparel since 1851.
Instantly restore your floors. Just shine it once and it shines for months with Quick Shine from Holloway House. Quick Shine is so quick and easy. Just quick squirt, quick spread, and let it quick dry. For a beautiful quick shine in just 15 minutes. On any floor, vinyl, tile, marble, even wood. So don't just clean it, quick shine it.
Enter quickshine.net to discover more. Or visit these fine retailers. Then just shine it once and it shines for months.
Life. How's yours? Lots of drama? Or are you laughing it up? Either way, that's life. Full of all the complexities you can imagine. And for those you can't, there's term life insurance from HSBC. Available online 24 hours a day. Get up to $250,000 in coverage with no agent visits or medical exams. It's fast and easy. Backed by an A+ superior rating from AM Best. And a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to hsbclifepolicy.com now for your free planning guide and personalize the coverage that fits your life. You could be covered in just minutes if you qualify. Securing your family's future has never been easier. It's quick, it's convenient. It's HSBC Insurance. Just call 1-866-419-1500 now or visit hsbclifepolicy.com for your free quote today.
This is a Fox News alert. The fast-moving wildfire raging in the hills near Malibu, California, in and around. Already 35 homes destroyed, about 2,200 acres scorched. Just to give you perspective, when we started this an hour ago, our coverage, Bridget Quinn and myself, they said 500 acres had been scorched. We are now up to 2,200. And as you can see, these live pictures, some of the resources being brought in to get this fire under control. It's feeding on brush, trees, and the dry Santa Ana winds that we all learned about a month ago. And we have just found out that nearby Pepperdine University, located just off the Pacific Coast Highway where this fire is located, they are telling students now to move to a campus shelter as a precaution. Joining me now on the phone, Daniel Berland. He's the information officer for the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. Thank you very much, Daniel, for taking time for us. What do you want people to know in and around this area to know?
You know, the biggest thing to remember is that the Santa Ana winds are unpredictable. So right now, where we only have one major fire in Malibu, we are continuing to monitor all of Southern California for the potential of new fires.
What type of resources do you have available to you, and is there any impact on the fact that it's a holiday weekend? Many people may be away from their homes. Many of your firefighters may be away as well.
You know, one of the steps that CAL FIRE, along with a lot of the local government and the U.S. Forest Service, did before the Thanksgiving holiday and before the Santa Ana winds was we pre-positioned hundreds of additional firefighters, fire engines, and aircraft in Southern California, knowing that the potential for new wildfires was greatly increased due to this upcoming Santa Ana wind event. So we were prepared with our resources.
What are you dropping from the sky now? We've seen live pictures of planes ahead.
You know, we're using our helicopters, we're using our air tankers. We just activated our DC-10 aircraft, which holds over 12,000 gallons of fire retardant. So we're really hitting it with everything we have, but just like in the last event, when you get Santa Ana winds blowing of up to 70 miles an hour, it can be very difficult for us to find it from the air. The drops are not only not effective, but it also can cause a safety issue for the pilots. So right now it is really a touch and go with our aircraft flying them in these kind of wind conditions.
You bring up such a good point about the winds and how unpredictable they can be. You can think you're in an area that could remain untouched, and then all of a sudden it happens. How far out are you pre-positioned?
You know, we strategically positioned our fire engines and our fire crews all over Southern California, Los Angeles County, Orange County, San Diego County, all over, so that no matter where the fire was, we could quickly get to it. Because, again, like you mentioned, it's unpredictable. We didn't know where we would see a start, and hopefully this is the only fire that we see today.
Daniel Berlant, thank you for the update. Good luck with your efforts there.
Thank you.
If you're in that area and you can safely take pictures of the California wildfire that's happening right now, we want to see them. We'll put them on the air, too. Send the pictures to us at youreport@foxnews.com. Plus, those Santa Ana winds are really fueling those flames. The wind gusts at one point were 50 miles an hour. There's also very low humidity in the area, and that is not helping firefighters. But they were ready for this, as Daniel Berlant was just telling us, having been on standby this week, worried that these fires could kick up again. Dominica Davis is tracking the weather and will tell us whether or not firefighters there will get any break. Dominica?
Hi, Jamie. Well, here's the reason that the wind started. We have this low pressure that formed just to the north of Mexico, high pressure over the Rockies, and this is all too close for comfort, and it's picking up the winds. The good thing is this low pressure over Mexico, which is actually making for a bit of a snowstorm through parts of New Mexico, is going to push off to the east by later today. So the wind advisory stays in effect for LA County and San Diego County through the afternoon, 3 o'clock local time, that will be allowed to expire. The winds will slacken by this evening as that low pressure moves off to the east, and we'll see calm conditions develop tonight and last through tomorrow. In the meantime, though, the high wind warnings stay in effect. The winds have come down a bit in LA County. They're going to pick up again, but the worst of the wind gusts have already developed. So we saw that this morning. The winds will be getting better as we go along throughout the day. Still getting sustained winds out of the northeast, 26 miles per hour. Through parts of Los Angeles County down to San Diego County, winds are sustained right around 20 to 30 miles per hour. Highs today will be in the upper 70s. Relative humidity in Los Angeles County is around 15%. Jamie?
All right, Dominica Davis in the Fox Weather Center. Dominica, thank you.
Well, the chief prosecutor in Aruba keeping very quiet about the new evidence uncovered in the Natalie Holloway case, but prosecutor Hans Moss tells Fox News he is confident they have enough to go after suspects Joran van der Sloot and Deepak and Satish Kalpo for the death of the 18-year-old girl. Moss saying today on Fox and Friends he is certain Natalie won't be found alive.
Yes, we think she's dead. We think we have evidence to prove that she's dead. I also say if that is enough evidence to convince a judge beyond reasonable doubt, that's still to be questioned because, as I said earlier in another show, they asked me, if you don't have a body, is it easy to prove that the person is dead? That is difficult. I have to acknowledge that it is difficult. But there are possibilities to prove it.
Phil Keating is live on the ground for us in Aruba. And Phil, he wouldn't give us any answers about that. Nobody right now knows what the heck that evidence is, right?
Yeah, it's just coming from a leak from the Dutch newspapers that it has to do with a telephone wiretap. But here on the island of Aruba, neither prosecutors nor police are talking much publicly about specific details. This time around, remember, this is 2.5 years ago, they're being even more close to the vest than they were ever in this case. But now that all three suspects are once again back on this island at the same time, and all three again back behind bars, for Aruba police, this is a great example and another opportunity for more interrogation, for further questioning on this case. And I can tell you that the first of the three suspects who will be further interrogated is, in fact, going to be Joran van der Sloot. He is the key suspect in this Natalie Holloway missing persons case, which I said is 2.5 years old. He arrived here in Aruba late last night, having flown here all day long from the Netherlands, where he was arrested right before Thanksgiving. He had a brief layover on the island of Curacao, where he could show you what you'd expect to see from a young man being escorted under arrest, straight-faced and none too happy. After all, it's been 2 years since van der Sloot and the two other suspects, Deepak and Satish Kalpo, were released from jail for insufficient evidence. Well, now there is new evidence, and yesterday a judge found it strong enough to keep the brothers locked up.
It's not murder, that's clear. It used to be the murder charge in the past. We are now 2 years further, and we see that that is not a realistic charge or a realistic suspicion. More likely, we think it is manslaughter.
And, you know, initially this was a missing persons case, and then it evolved to a potential murder case. Now, Aruba's new chief prosecutor actually for the first time acknowledging that, you know, there was a chance that 2.5 years ago, because it was being treated as a missing 18-year-old woman, there could have been key leads and key evidence that were not found or, in fact, lost forever. For example, they have never found Natalie Holloway's body. The first time somebody here in the Aruban government acknowledging that maybe some mistakes were actually made back then. We do believe, according to that Dutch newspaper, that the new evidence deals with contradictory statements made in these wiretaps that contradict sworn statements made to investigators. Will we see a trial? Well, the chief prosecutor says we'll decide by late December. Bridget?
All right, a lot going on there on Aruba. Our own Phil Keating. Phil, thank you very much for the update. Let's get up to speed on some other top stories of the day. Courtney Friel is with us once again. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Bridget. Let's go first to Bangladesh, where survivors of a devastating cyclone struggle with inadequate supplies of food and water. Relief workers are delivering desperately needed aid to thousands left homeless by the storm, but there simply isn't enough to go around. Meanwhile, a section of a bridge collapses in the coastal village of Kalpara as thousands of storm victims stampede aid workers delivering rice. Rescue workers say at least one person was killed and dozens were injured in the collapse. And in Iraq, the U.S. military blaming a bloody pet market bombing in Baghdad on Iranian-backed militants.
Based on subsequent confessions, forensics, and other intelligence, the bombing was the work of an Iranian-backed special group cell operating here in Baghdad. The group's purpose was to make it appear al-Qaeda had been responsible for this attack.
A bomb hidden in a box of birds exploded yesterday in the bustling market, killing 15 people. The spokesman also clarified that he is not accusing Iran of ordering the attack, but added militant groups have historically gotten funding and training from there. And in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the embattled president of Oral Roberts University is stepping down following allegations of financial wrongdoing. Richard Roberts, son of evangelist and university founder Oral Roberts, announcing his resignation following a lawsuit. The allegations include misuse of university funds and the wrongful termination of some staff members. Roberts denies any wrongdoing and says the lawsuit amounts to intimidation, blackmail, and extortion. Those are some of your latest headlines. Let's go back to Bridget.
All right, Courtney, thank you very much. And, boy, busy news day. We've been talking about the wildfires, and as Jamie pointed out, and we've only been here an hour and change, and already the numbers have just been almost increasing exponentially. We're now talking about 2,200 acres already destroyed in this fast-moving California wildfire.
They are on it. They have the overhead, or these airplanes. They've called in the DC-10 now. The governor's office making resources available. As many as 500 firefighters have been on this at least for the last hour. We're going to keep you posted on all the areas that are affected, but keep in mind, Bridget, the Santa Ana winds can go in any direction, so all of Southern California right now on watch, as well as we are.
That's right. Yeah. And those winds, by the way, up to about 60 miles per hour. Much more to come. Make sure you keep it right here at Fox.
Robert Nepper makes the prison break to Hitman. What you don't know could kill you. Plus, smoking hot supermodel Luciana Jimenez. Find out what makes her tick. Tonight, it's our special primetime lineup. Don't miss a moment.
The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
Introducing Renewin, the only intensive release supplement for joint care and energy. Renewin with glucosamine and chondroitin improves joint comfort, joint mobility, and boosts energy. Renewin in stores now.
So, Miss Coat Authority, what's hot?
Rich wool, that's hot. Sporty ski jackets, that's hot. Saving money, that's hot.
Save big on top brand coats for everyone. Burlington Coat Factory, the Coat Authority.
Harry is a scratcher who keeps getting scratched. He needs maximum strength Scalpicin, not a shampoo. Its clear formula stops scratching with the itch medicine dermatologists recommend. Maximum strength Scalpicin, the clear solution to a healthier scalp.
Wherever good can overcome,
That is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
This holiday, don't just buy stuff, do stuff, like spread some joy. This weekend, hurry into Radio Shack for hot deals like the Virgin Mobile Super Slice phone, only $29.99, and the Sirius Stratus satellite radio. Go to RadioShack.com for other hot deals.
Partner, let me upgrade you. Partner, let me upgrade you to some new page. Introduce you to some new things and upgrade.
And let me upgrade you to the best channels in HD. Only on DirecTV.
Upgrade you.
I'm talking about the hottest channels, not that HD lineup you get with cable. DirecTV, now that's a good look.
Let me upgrade you, grade you.
Upgrade your new flat screen with 85 of the best HD channels, only on DirecTV.
The Factor in Afghanistan. Bill with the troops, deep in the heart of the war on terror. It's an O'Reilly exclusive. Plus, have things changed in the USO since Bob Hope and major American stars visited Vietnam? The USO is here to explain on The Factor.
Although Santa Ana winds are raging once again, as are the flames right above Malibu, California. Let's go live to our man on the scene, Casey Stiegel. Casey, what's the latest?
Well, Bridget, the footprint for the evacuation zone is widening as we speak. In fact, one of our own Fox News correspondents, Jonathan Hunt, just received mandatory evacuation orders. He lives here in Malibu, so we talked to him about 30 minutes ago. He was grabbing his family and getting out. Let's talk about the anatomy of a fire as I step aside and let you see what's going on just beyond that hill. When you have thick black smoke, that is indicative that the fire is really raging. You can see the white smoke billowing up behind that hill right back there behind me in the Malibu Hills. That means that the fire on the other side there is contained. At least the flames aren't really cooking, and that's why the smoke has turned to white. So that's one thing that we look for when you talk about these wildfires. The thick black smoke indicates that the fire is still burning out of control, but we understand that this thing is at 0% containment. In fact, the amount of acreage that we've seen burning has increased literally and unfolded as we've been on live television this morning. That number now stands at about 2,200 acres that have been destroyed by this particular fire. About 35 homes have been destroyed, and all of the news choppers that are flying up in the air, we've seen the video coming from those choppers, and we've seen homes fully engulfed in flames. And not only is the airspace very crowded with news helicopters, but also air units with the LA County Fire Department as well. Take a look right over here. Let's give you an idea of how close we are to the Pacific Ocean, because those fire units, those air units, go along the ocean, they scoop up water, and then they fly back over to where the fire is really raging, and they drop the water to douse those flames. And we also understand that that DC-10 aircraft is also up in the air as well. That holds hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds really, of flame retardant, that red powder that you see drop down out of the sky when we cover these wildfires. So no doubt they are certainly putting all of their resources into this, trying to get it under control, though it has been very difficult this morning. This fire burning for some 7-8 hours now, and firefighters again 0% containment as these heavy Santa Ana winds continue to fuel the flames.
All right, Casey Stiegel, thanks a lot for the update. And again, this story just changing literally by the minute, Jamie.
We're going to have much more, of course, on the fires from the ground. Plus, the Democratic candidates, they are all focused on one four-letter word, and it's spelled like this, I-O-W-A, Iowa. The nation's first caucus could very well make or break the likes of Obama and Edwards. They need to gain some serious ground on Senator Clinton if they want to stay in it to win it. Who is going to come out on top? We'll take a look.
I want to change the way I drive.
I want a vehicle with zero emissions.
I want a hybrid that fits my life.
I want to use a cleaner burning fuel.
I want to grow my fuel, not drill for it.
I want a hybrid my family can afford.
I want a car smart enough to turn off half its cylinders when it doesn't need them.
I want to go electric.
I want a truck that runs on alternative fuel.
I want a car I can plug in. I want hydrogen power.
I want to make a difference.
I want to drive smarter.
I want to live greener.
I want new ideas. I want new ideas.
I want new ideas.
Americans want something better, and so do we. Today, it's high-mileage cars and trucks, E85 ethanol-capable vehicles, and new hybrids. Tomorrow, it'll be Chevys powered by hydrogen and electricity.
I want a better world.
I want a better world.
I want a better world.
We want a better world.
Chevy, from gas-friendly to gas-free. That's an American revolution.
It sneaks up on you. You may fall asleep right away, but a few hours later, you're wide awake. Once again, you can't get back to sleep. Unlike other sleep aids, Ambien CR has 2 layers of sleep relief. The first dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. The second dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. See what 2 layers can do for you. Ask your prescriber about...
Old furnaces can be much less efficient than new furnaces. That's why Energy Trust of Oregon and Northwest Natural have teamed up to offer you a special cash bonus when you install a high-efficiency gas furnace. A new natural gas furnace can reduce energy waste and is up to 95% efficient. Make the switch now for savings every month and $200 cash back right away. Learn more at energytrust.org.
We're the big old expensive phone company. We cost much more than Comcast Digital Voice, and we do what we please. Just check out your monthly bill and look at all those fees. If you switch to Comcast, you won't miss our fees with a big old expensive phone company.
On Nat Geo.
With that New Hampshire primary fast approaching, top Republican presidential candidates are turning up that political heat. Mitt Romney taking his shots at Democrats, while Giuliani and Thompson seem to be turning their campaign guns, so to speak, on each other. Julie Kurtz following all the details from Washington. Hi, Julie.
Hey, Bridget, remember the New Hampshire primary date is January 8th, and Mitt Romney is showing his stamina with 6 different events in the state today alone. He's pushing his plan to control big government spending today. He also criticized Rudy Giuliani as a big spender, and he called Democrats a bunch of whiners. Here's what he said.
I'm convinced you're going to have the Democrats always whining about something. When we talk about their lack of experience, they'll be whining. When we talk about the course they would have taken in Iraq and how bad it would have been for our country, they'd be whining.
Well, no whining from GOP rival Fred Thompson as he takes on Rudy over guns. He tours a gun factory in South Carolina today. Yesterday at a gun shop in Bristol, New Hampshire, Thompson reaffirmed his support for the Second Amendment and took a swing at Giuliani for his past support of gun control laws in New York City. That brought a quick response from Giuliani. In a statement, he called Thompson a Washington insider and lobbyist who only played the role on television that Rudy Giuliani actually lived. Giuliani also didn't let the attack by Romney today on his fiscal record stand. He issued a statement a short time ago saying Romney is trying to cover up his own lackluster record as governor of Massachusetts. So things are getting hot. Giuliani launched his first blitz of New Hampshire today. Fred Thompson sits down with Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday tomorrow morning. Jamie.
Julie, thank you. These days, if you need to find a Democratic contender for president, it seems there's no need to look farther than Iowa. All of the candidates are focusing in on the campaign's first voting state. So will Iowa's caucus determine whether Senator Hillary Clinton maintains her front-runner status? Joining me now, the author of The Undecided Voter's Guide to the Next President, and there are a lot of them, right? Who the candidates are, where they come from, and how you can choose. Mark Halperin, have you chosen?
Not my job to choose, my job to help people make the best choice.
So far, all the talk is that Senator Clinton is the front runner. Iowa is so key. What is it that the other Democratic candidates have to do to get a hold on her lead?
Pretty simple, stop her there. That is a state that doesn't match the rest of the country, as you know. She's got big leads in most other places. In Iowa, she's a little ahead, a little behind, or even. They know that they can stop her in Iowa, and they know that's probably the only place they can stop her. That's why you see so much going into Iowa.
There's still a lot of talk about a bad debate performance, about planted questions. For how long will Senator Clinton pay the price for that?
She's going to pay the price because she's Hillary Clinton, and that's the way she gets covered. Everything sticks to her for whatever reason all the way through the voting. Her ceiling in Iowa is not that big. I don't think she can break out in Iowa the way she has nationally in the polls. There's just too many people who say they will not vote for her. So Iowa is a fight. She thought about skipping that fight. She's putting her flag down there. So are all the candidates, because as I said, if they can stop her, it's got to be there.
Is New Hampshire equally important?
Not for the Democrats. I think it is for the Republicans. You heard in the report there, the Republicans are really focused on New Hampshire. Probably a coincidence to some extent, but this weekend you see Giuliani, Romney, the two leading Republicans in New Hampshire, Clinton, Obama in Iowa. Iowa will matter more for the Democrats, New Hampshire for the Republicans. But make no mistake, if someone beats Hillary Clinton in Iowa, she's got a chance to come back in New Hampshire. If she wins Iowa, I suspect she'll do pretty well in New Hampshire.
What would we see at that point of the Democratic candidates if she wins in Iowa? Any fallout or dropout?
Well, I think you'll see some candidates perhaps go away. Remember, there's the short window. Usually we have 8 days between Iowa and New Hampshire. This time just 5 days. So there's almost not enough time to drop out, and I think most of the candidates would go forward. But first, second, third place in Iowa are always key. If someone gets close to her, even if they don't beat her, they've got a chance to try to take her on in New Hampshire.
I'm curious what she offers Iowans in particular, and especially women.
Well, she's working really hard. One thing that she's got going for her, she is not a complacent front runner. In Iowa, she's treating it like it's a race for county sheriff or governor. She's trying to bring new women into the process. Her biggest support group, blue-collar women, working-class women, they don't normally vote in general. Caucusing, as everybody knows, a harder thing. You got to go during a particular window. So she's trying her best to use women-to-women contact in Iowa to get that group out. Her campaign says they probably can't win unless they bring a lot of new people into the caucuses. That's always been hard, but she's trying to do it.
New people and young people?
Well, young people, everybody would like to bring in too, but Senator Obama, his calculus is to bring in those new young people. That's a group that hasn't voted in very high numbers in the caucuses. He's also trying to bring in new people. So it's two campaigns, the two front runners saying, we want to change the voting universe. That's part of why this Iowa thing is so exciting. Can they get new people to the polls?
It's exciting, Mark, and it's early. Mark Halperin, and if you're having trouble deciding who to vote for and how you should decide, the book is a great read.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Bridget.
All right, a story that is changing by the minute, literally. Flames right now are tearing up the Malibu hillsides. We are tracking the latest developments on a brand new wildfire. Here we go again. It's destroying nearly 36 homes, forcing people to flee the area. Much more on this here on Fox.
When mucus keeps your child up at night, you need new Mucinex Cough Mini Melts, the great tasting way to break up mucus and quiet coughing. New Mucinex Cough Mini Melts. Mucinex in, mucus out.
Great taste, lower sodium. Here we go.
Campbell's added our lower sodium natural sea salt to new Healthy Request microwavable soup.
Where did you get the idea to use sea salt?
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare supplement insurance card too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
Who answered all my questions about Medicare supplement plans, so I could understand it all. After I called, I was able to choose the plan that was right for me.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you from paying thousands of dollars out of your own pocket. These are the only Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit with all you need to enroll, so you can join the millions of people who've already trusted us for their Medicare supplement insurance. Plus, we'll send you this free guide to understanding Medicare.
The prices are competitive. I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
And I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call now to get the free information kit. Plus, we'll include this free Medicare guide. And the advantages don't end there. You can choose from a wide range of plans that are all competitively priced, so you can find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. There are virtually no claim forms to fill out. And best of all, they're the only Medicare supplement plans endorsed by AARP.
When they told me these plans were endorsed by AARP,
I had only one thing to say. Sign me up.
Call now, 1-800-431-3260, and let us help you choose the right plan. So call now, 1-800-431-3260, and find out about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan. A personal health insurance advisor is waiting for your call.
This is a very fast-moving wildfire. It only broke out at about 3:30 in the morning California time. It has already consumed more than 2,000 acres in the Malibu area. Very, very fast-moving blaze. And at last word, again, some 2,000 acres destroyed, probably more, 35 homes destroyed. No count right now on the evacuees, but a lot of people, including our own Jonathan Hunt, by the way, getting the call to pack their stuff and get the heck out of there. Some 200 homes are threatened. Firefighters are working frantically on this blaze, and gusts up to about 60 miles per hour. Those treacherous Santa Ana winds, once again, the problem happened just a month ago. Here we go again, Jamie.
Here we go again, for sure. And these pictures are live. We're not telling you about the last wildfires. This is the new one, and certainly to keep in mind, it is in Malibu, but it could spread. That's what we're hearing from officials. We want to tell you about what's happening there, dozens of homes already being destroyed, but as well, Pepperdine University is located right near where these fires are. We told you last month about precautions being taken there, how students were quickly shuffled off to a shelter, and that is exactly what has happened this hour. Joining us on the phone, Pepperdine University student Greg Lee. Greg, are you calling us from a shelter?
No, I'm actually back in my dorm room now. They've evacuated us back to our room, so we're okay now.
That's great news. What can you see from where you are at Pepperdine?
At this point, it's clearing up, but this morning when we woke up to alarms and sirens around 6:15, we could see billowing clouds of smoke just to the north of us above the mountain, and it was pretty frightening.
Were you there for the last wildfires?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
How would you compare this scene? Because just in the last hour and a half, this fire has grown from 500 acres to more than 2,000. Do you feel that they're approaching the campus, and does it feel different than the last ones?
I tell you what, I believe the right word to use is deja vu, because just to have this happening again is incredible. But from our point of view at Pepperdine, it seems a lot further away, and we're in a much safer place this time, but we are very worried about the Malibu community and the surrounding area.
How did they get in touch with you, university officials?
The university has a new system they actually implemented this year. It's a warning system that they send text messages or phone calls to a phone number you list, and they used that this morning as well as door-to-door knocking on doors and waking us up.
A lot of students are away for the holiday weekend as well. They're probably watching this at home. Are they letting people come back onto campus? Because we're looking at live pictures right now of the scene above Malibu, and the smoke isn't just billowing anymore. It has completely engulfed many of the mountains in the area and the sky.
Well, I believe they're letting students off to the south, but not so much to the north where the fire is located. We had about 200 high school students here for a church camp this weekend that have left campus to get to LAX or wherever they need to be. But I don't believe they're letting students back on at this point.
It sounds like they got out, Greg, just in time, because Pacific Coast Highway, as many of us know, I used to live in the area. Our Jonathan Hunt lives up the road and has had to evacuate now. There's one road in and one road out. It poses such a challenge for firefighters. On campus, does the campus have its own fire department?
They don't anymore. However, they work closely with Malibu and the LA Fire Department, and thank goodness that they expected these Santa Ana winds and to say that you're fully prepared for a fire is kind of funny, but they did an amazing job of being prepared and expecting this weekend.
So have you packed things just in case?
I have actually. I have a little bag set with extra clothes and water just in case. Just kind of a preview and a precursor of what happened last time.
And after what happened last time, did the students discuss where they would go in the event of an emergency? Are students who live in the area inviting students to come with them? What's the community involvement there on campus?
Yes, ma'am. Well, because, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of students that are home for the Thanksgiving holiday, but for those of us that are on, we have outlets to go to in the LA area, in Calabasas and whatnot to keep us safe. But right now we're feeling okay on campus.
All right. Well, Greg Lee, thank you for joining us. Last time, Pepperdine got very, very lucky. Stay safe. Don't take any chances. And thanks for talking to us.
We are going to keep on covering that fire. Right now, though, I want to go to Courtney Friel with some of the other stories developing today. Courtney?
Hi again, Bridget. The mad dash for aid in the cyclone-stricken country of Bangladesh leading to more tragedy. A jam-packed bridge with hundreds of survivors waiting for food and supplies suddenly buckled into the river. At least 3 people are dead and 20 others are missing. This after a devastating cyclone killed nearly 3,500 people and left some 2 million homeless. Troops from China on a mission to the troubled region of Darfur, Sudan. The troops are taking part in a peacekeeping and reconstruction of Darfur. It's the first time China has sent a peacekeeping force to that area as part of the UN task force. China has been criticized for not supporting intervention in that area. Fighting between Darfur's government-backed militias and rebels have left millions of people homeless and starving. China sells weapons to Darfur's regime and has been reluctant to get involved. More rhetoric from Russia. President Vladimir Putin with a warning for the West, saying he wants his nation to be treated as an equal by the U.S. To that end, he has suspended Russia's participation in a European military treaty. Putin reportedly feeling empowered to make this move thanks to Russia's rising oil revenues. Well, it's just what retailers were hoping for. The stores and malls are jammed this weekend with holiday shoppers. Early reports showing retailers like Macy's, Toys R Us, Target, and Walmart are all very happy with the turnout so far. The news is helping to alleviate the fear that higher gas prices and the mortgage crisis would cause people to shy away from shopping this year. Retailers are pointing to bigger discounts and expanded hours like midnight openings for the strong kickoff. And I went shopping. All right, well, now that we know that they don't live happily ever after. A tough break for a former participant on the reality TV show The Bachelor. Police in Florida are arresting Mary Delgado on battery charges. She is accused of punching her fiancé, Byron Velvick, in the mouth. Velvick proposed to Delgado on The Bachelor back in 2004. And this season didn't work out for them either. He didn't choose either of them. I don't know if you saw that, Bridget. But let's get back to you.
I did not. I missed that one. Fortunately so, I think. Courtney, thank you very much for the update. We'll check back. All right, the Department of Homeland Security has some big plans for New York City firefighters. The FDNY is training to become sharp eyes on the front lines in the war on terror, but their new role has some privacy advocates sounding an alarm. Caroline Shively now with more from Washington. Caroline?
Hey there, Bridget. They already fight fires and save lives. Now the federal government is trying to make sure firefighters are part of the communication loop when it comes to these terror threats. The Department of Homeland Security has been working to make sure local fire departments in some of the nation's largest cities are trained on how to spot the hallmarks of terrorism when they go into people's homes in an emergency. Things like bomb manuals, blueprints, strange chemicals, night vision goggles, flight manuals, or even behavior, like someone who is hostile to Americans and spouting hate speech. Some of it does sound obvious, but the federal government is also setting up networks to share that information at regional fusion centers. Many fire chiefs and supervisors are also getting high-level security clearance so they know about these threats and then can pass them on to their EMTs and crews on the street. Firefighters in D.C. and New York recently shared their training information with other cities like Los Angeles, Miami, and Chicago.
We need to know what the problems are. We need to know what current threats are. We need to know what the future threats could be. We need to know what terrorists are thinking and all the bits of information, all those things we need to know to develop a good strategy. I need to have a direction into where I'm going to train my providers.
But some privacy advocates worry that this could be abused, pointing out that unlike law enforcement, firefighters and EMTs go into millions of homes and businesses, and they don't need warrants to get in there. The ACLU told the Associated Press there is a danger of fire officials becoming what they called intelligence agents. Bridget?
All right, Caroline Shively in D.C. Caroline, thank you.
All right, and this Fox News alert for you as well. We've been telling you about the fires in Malibu, those wildfires now consuming 2,200 acres, 500 firefighters on the scene. And let's go straight to a news conference that's happening live.
Start up again in a hurry. They can change direction suddenly, and the fire itself can create its own weather conditions. So just because the wind is dying down does not mean that people are out of danger. Let me just give you a few facts. First of all, the evacuation areas, the mandatory evacuation areas, are Corral Canyon on the east, Trancas on the west, Mulholland on the north, and the coastline on the south. So again, Corral on the east, Trancas on the west, Mulholland on the north, and the coastline on the south. That is a mandatory evacuation area. It includes all of Point Dume. There are 2,200 acres that are so far have been engulfed in flames. 35 structures so far, at least 35 structures have been destroyed. 5 out of 200 structures in Latigo Canyon, 15 out of 100 in the Seabreeze area, and 15 out of 100 in the Newell area at Corral Canyon. There are 1,700 firefighters fighting this fire. 23 aircraft have been fighting this fire this morning. We have had one firefighter, a state firefighter, who was injured, not seriously. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. I want to thank the Los Angeles County Fire Department and all of our mutual aid partners who responded so quickly to what has been a devastating fire, but again, could have been much worse. Our fire department, our law enforcement personnel, you will hear from Sheriff Baca momentarily, have done an outstanding job in evacuating some 10,000 or more people from this evacuation area. We want to urge everyone to pay close attention to the radio, and to listen carefully to all of the admonitions of the fire department, the sheriff's department, the public safety personnel, the highway patrol, and all the others. This is still a dangerous and dynamic situation. There are a lot of homes in this area, and until the fire is knocked down, we can't be sure of what the next development will be. Spoken to the governor this morning, and he is fully briefed, and the state has been very cooperative. We've had everything we need from all of our partners. Let me now turn it over to Sheriff Lee Baca.
Is the governor coming? Did you ask a question? Is the governor coming? Let me say this. First of all, the governor has been in complete communication with myself, Chief Michael Freeman, and Mr. Yaroslavsky. So Governor Schwarzenegger has been fully briefed on the things that we're discussing with you at this moment. Let me say this. We've been here before. Los Angeles County is a county that has a mutual aid system with the state of California. I am the mutual aid coordinator for Los Angeles County. The mutual aid coordinator for fire is the county fire chief, Mr. Freeman, who you will hear from in a moment. We have activated our County Emergency Operations Center earlier this morning, and in that center we are actively coordinating as much fire and law enforcement resources that are necessary to combat this fire. That is our standard practice in this county. Our state partners are in position. You will hear more about the equipment that is being provided not only by the state of California, but locally in Los Angeles County. We own our own aircraft in this county, and therefore we're in a positive position to deploy immediately. What we're facing here now is a matter of strategy that the fire chief will describe with you in a moment. We have evacuated a substantial amount of the area affected by the fire. The The evacuation point is to go north on PCH into Ventura County. And it's also been said by Mr. Yaroslavsky that the Channel Islands High School is that point to go to if you go north on PCH. Currently, Agoura High School, for those residents that live up near Mulholland, that is where you evacuate to from that region. The governor is well aware of the difficulty that we're facing. The governor has extended his concerns for the residents that have been evacuated. And it is his hope that when we control this fire, those residents can go right back to their home as quickly as possible. That is one of our top priorities. I want to introduce Captain Webb from the California Highway Patrol, along with Captain Martin from the LA County Sheriff's Department, who are in command of law enforcement resources. Currently, we have close to 100 law enforcement resources doing the evacuation and protecting fire equipment. And for those who are inconvenienced by the evacuation or closing of roads, it's very important to remember that the fire equipment that's coming in and out of here is in great need of protection and free access so we can deal with the fire. That's an important aspect of what we're doing here, is protecting the fire equipment, opening the roads so the fire equipment can come quickly to the scenes of where the fire is. So we're at the point now where the mutual aid system is in full activation, and Sheriff's Department personnel are coming from throughout the entire county, as far as away as Palmdale and Lancaster, West Hollywood, the Lenox area, and Temple area in the San Gabriel Valley. And we believe that this fire is being not only effectively managed in a cooperative manner with law enforcement and fire services, but that we are in full unified command when it comes to the state, the county, and the resources that are being brought in from the various cities. And now I'd like to introduce to you the mayor of Malibu, who has been on top of this since the beginning. And this city obviously has had his experiences with fires. Mayor Jennings. Thank you, Well, waking up at 4 in the morning with the smell of smoke in your nose and the wind beating at the windows is something that we learn to live with here. But it always comes as something of a shock. And any time that you have a fire that claims 35 homes, it's a disaster. There are some silver linings as we stand here today. The wind, as you can tell, has dropped. It gives the firefighters and the aircraft a chance to really hammer the fire and try to bring it under control. Hopefully that the conditions will remain the same. I want to express the city's gratitude to all of the personnel from county and state fire, from CHP, and from the sheriff's office for the quick way in which they responded to this situation. It's great to be able to say that we had no lost lives, and we're sorry about the one injury that's been suffered, but it's certainly not as bad as it could have been. For the residents, I just want to say listen to your radios, go outside and see which way the wind is blowing, stay alert, stay vigilant. Things look to me as though they're promising, and we're going to be able to get a handle on this thing. But as the professionals have told you, it's very, very unpredictable. No way to know for sure what way it's going to go. So stay alert. Have your evacuation plan ready to go. Get your animals and your photographs and all the rest of that stuff ready to go in the car so you can leave. And we'll hopefully try to get through with this thing before too many days are over. Thank you. Chief Freeman, I think, is going to come up and speak.
Good morning, and first of all, I'd like to thank everyone in the media for the great job you're doing getting the word out to our citizens about evacuations, about the status of the fire. I want to assure everyone that Los Angeles County Fire Department is tremendously supported within the county, within our mutual aid area, as the sheriff has already described, also the state of California and the federal government. The pre-deployment of personnel and equipment, aircraft, and all of the preparations that have been made are paying off. Now, what we see, of course, is a fire that right now has consumed in excess of 2,200 acres. It continues to burn. The fire is down near the Pacific Coast Highway. I just talked to the operations chief, and they're doing structure protection in the Paradise Cove and Ramirez Canyon area. And they will continue to work very diligently with all the personnel here to protect life and property as far as that is possible. The plan for the fire operation is to take care of that structure protection and life protection, and that goes back to the evacuation. The evacuation is crucial for life safety. The evacuation done safely and completely as has been ordered in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department and the CHP makes the firefighters' job much easier because they only have to be concerned with their safety and not the safety of citizens. As we emphasized previously, this is the time for the firefighters, the 23 aircraft, the dozens of dozers, the hand crews, and all of the experts to do the structure protection. I can assure you they're going to do their utmost to protect every structure that is possible. One of the things that we'll be working on is to try to hold this fire to the east side of Canaan-Doom Road and south of Tunnel 1, which is the tunnel on the Pacific Coast Highway side. Now that is a difficult task. There's a lot of heavier unburned fuel up in that area, and that's where our dozers and our hand crews and the aircraft are going to be working very, very hard to try to hold that fire there. If we are successful, then that would become essentially the west flank of the fire. Now the head of the fire is kind of pushing in a northwesterly direction, and it's along Pacific Coast Highway as I indicated. We've got a lot of canyons, a lot of drainages up in there, and the fire is very dynamic. And it is dangerous. It is dangerous certainly to the firefighters, and it's dangerous to our law enforcement personnel who are up there doing their very best to do the evacuation. So continue to cooperate, and I assure you the firefighters and law enforcement are going to do everything that's humanly possible to bring this fire to a successful and a safe conclusion. Lastly, I know that the people who have been evacuated from those neighborhoods where there have been reports of structures lost, we're going to do our very best to try to get addresses so that we can get that information out so we can give you the news as best we can. And that's going to take a while. I'd say 98% of our personnel that are up in the fire area right now, their job is to protect life and property. So it's very hard for them to go and get addresses and things like that. So we'll do our best because we do understand the concern of homeowners. So we'll do our best on that. I think all of us here are open to questions if you have them, and so we'll try to use up some.
If the conditions continue exactly as they are now, what do you expect? I expect a very difficult and concerted effort in the Canaan-Doom area, all up and down that canyon and that road to hold that fire to the east side of that canyon. And we do anticipate in some areas the fire may actually get across Canaan-Doom, and then the effort will be to try to pick it up, and that is to catch it and to nail it before it continues to move westwardly.
What's your better access on that? Is that from ground cover, ground troops, or air cover getting into that area?
You know, Pete, it's like any fire operation out here in the brush. It's a combination. You can't do it just with the aircraft. You can't do it just with the ground. So it's a combination, ground attack, hand crews, dozers, where we can get them in there, and the aircraft. It'd be a combined operation. The cost of it? The cause of it. It is under investigation. It occurred off a paved highway in kind of a dirt motorway. We don't have any information on that. It is under investigation. Again, we're very diligent trying to establish a cause. But right now, it is just officially under investigation. We have arson investigators up there now.
Where exactly was that? You said off of
It's off Corral Canyon at Castro Peak Motorway. That was the general area where this fire was first seen.
Are there any power lines or anything else in that area which could cause the fire?
We don't see power lines in the immediate area on a preliminary review. I do want to mention about power lines, and I want to be careful here. There have been power lines that have gone down as a result of the fire. In fact, we've had some access challenges that Edison is working very closely with us so that we can get in and out of these various canyons where the poles have burned and gone down, taking the wires, and in some cases the poles across the highway. But there's no indication that I have been made aware of
that this fire is related to a power line. But it is under investigation.
Is the point of origin the parking lot at the top of Castro Crest? And what about reports that there were campers up there?
We're checking out every lead, and I don't have direct information about the exact origin. I understand it was off the paved portion of the canyon road there, but that's all I've got.
Did the governor declare a state of emergency because of this fire?
I am advised that since the federal declaration of almost a month ago, that declaration is still in effect. So we are operating under that declaration.
How many people were evacuated?
We're estimating somewhere between 10 and 14,000. We'll have a better idea of that as if and when people report to the shelters. As you know, a lot of times evacuees have friends, family, and other places, but that's our guesstimate right now.
Any idea you're talking
about the fireman that was injured?
Yes. Our understanding is it's a minor injury, minor facial burn, and he has been taken and is being treated, but it's minor injury. So families of firefighters rest easy for now. Again, the fire continues to burn, but that was a minor injury.
You said 10 to 14,000 people. You want to translate that into homes, a rough approximation. Any idea?
Probably figure 3 people per home, and so do the math.
We saw a coroner's investigator drive by. Is there a fatality you're aware of?
No, but again, on a county major response, we have the assistance of all the various county departments, so that's probably what it was. The only injury we are aware of is a minor injury to the firefighter.
Of the 35 structures that have burned, how many of those are homes?
I believe all but one. We do have preliminary information. There may have been a commercial structure. And that number, I will tell you, is going to be dynamic. We hope as we get in and do the formal damage assessment that it's less, but it could grow.
Tell us again where the homes predominantly burned.
Okay. Preliminary information is in the Latigo Canyon area, approximately 5 out of 200 homes. And down in the Newell tract near the Malibu Bowl, 15 out of 100. And then in the Seabreeze tract, another 10 to 15. And we did have a report earlier. It hasn't been confirmed. There may be a home or two in Villa Escondido. And I think it was in that vicinity near PCH we had information might have been a commercial structure. But again, we've got to get our damage assessment teams out there, and we'll try to get those addresses. As I mentioned.
One last time, Chief, so that people know the dimensions of the evacuated area, the area where there are mandatory evacuations. Can you give those boundaries again?
The mandatory evacuations would be west of Corral Canyon to Mulholland on the north, to Trancas Canyon on the west, down to the coastline, coming back to Corral Canyon.
Is it too early to talk about containment?
It is, in the sense that we don't have a percentage on that. As you can look to the east flank of the fire, and that's where the fixed wing have been concentrating their efforts. The Tanker 910, the DC-10, has made at least 2 drops, and the idea there is to try to get a good retardant line painted across there. So that ultimately, we don't count a retardant line as containment, but the fire is moving the other way. So we'll expect to have some containment numbers coming up later, but right now we don't have any containment.
Chief, if the fire is moving further to the west and the north, we've seen a lot of the tanker activity on the east side of it.
Yes.
So why is that?
Visibility, and that's one of the challenges. As we all want to do, we want to kind of armchair quarterback. We say, well, why aren't they flying this side or that side? As I said earlier, I can assure you the pilots, the firefighters, they're going to do their utmost to use that equipment, their training to the best ability. But you can't fly fixed-wing aircraft in dense smoke. And as soon as they can get on the west side, I assure you that they will do that. Right now, most of that is being handled by the helicopters because they can kind of pick and choose their way in there. A lot of that effort in there is structure protection, but that's the reason.
Chief, what role is the pre-deployment playing here?
It basically gets personnel and equipment out here or in the vicinity sooner.
Did you have everything you needed?
Yes, ma'am. We have got everything we need for now. As the supervisor said, and I want to re-emphasize, it is a dynamic and a dangerous situation. We continue to evaluate it. As soon as we conclude here, we will go back up to the command post and get the latest updates. Just before coming here, we talked about trying to project ahead 4 to 6 hours, trying to ascertain, given what we have now, is that going to be sufficient for the future? There's a lot of personnel and equipment that has been brought to Southern California. We're using what we need. We will call for more ahead of the time if we see the need for that.
Chief, when I was in Escondido this morning, there were a number of homes I watched burn. There was one brush patrol and one battalion chief in there. How stretched thin were you guys this morning?
What you're seeing there is the challenge of deployment as the fire is moving. As we put resources into neighborhoods and so forth, they have to dig in and start protecting structures. What you saw at the initial onslaught of that fire is just the leading edge, the wave of the other resources that are coming in there. And that is the challenge that the firefighters have on the ground, is moving the resources that are here, getting them in here and getting them in the right position. So I think you're seeing the leading edge of the fire and then trying to get the resources.
There's one guy right here. Other homes.
Well, and then assets were coming into the area as well. Yes,
Do you feel better prepared than you were a month ago with equipment and personnel and everything?
All right, there you have the latest facts and figures on this fast-spreading fire. Casey Stiegel is live on the phone once again from Malibu. Casey?
Yeah, fast indeed. Sorry we're coming to you via telephone, but the area that we've been in all morning and bringing you live pictures from, the fire had actually moved out of that area because it's spreading so quickly. It's moving to the west, as you were just hearing that fire chief say. And so we broke down the truck, and we're headed in that direction now to follow the fire to get the best pictures for all of our viewers. But, boy, talk about those numbers, and to give you an idea of how quickly this is moving, some 2,200 acres consumed by the flames, and the evacuations have really taken off, because initially this morning when we got on the scene, some 100 people were evacuated, and now we're hearing that upwards of 14,000 people have been evacuated from their homes as firefighters still cannot get a handle on this situation. I'm actually on the Pacific Coast Highway right now, which again is that road that runs right alongside the ocean, the only road in and out of Malibu. Portions of the PCH, as it's called here, are closed down because, as he was also saying in that news conference, it's vital, not only because the visibility is so low at times because of the smoke blowing across the roadway, but also because they've got to get all of this fire personnel and fire equipment in. As you heard, people from all over Southern California are being called to come in and try to get a handle on this situation. But right now, it is still at 0% containment, guys.
All right, Casey Stiegel, thank you very much. And I know you will be back on throughout the course of the weekend there at Malibu. Wow, what a staggering number, Jamie. 14,000 people evacuated. This broke out 3:30 in the morning, California time.
Already 1,700 firefighters are in place, 23 aircraft overhead trying to get it contained. They are asking everyone to stay off the roads. The Emergency Operations Center is already activated. And the interesting thing is the emergency declaration from a month ago, the last wildfires, still in place. That's bringing in a lot of the resources that they need. You're going to want to keep it right here on Fox for the very latest on these wildfires that have now spread in Southern California. I'm Jamie Colby.
And I'm Bridget Quinn. And once again, fast-moving blaze. A lot of more news developing throughout the course of the afternoon. Want to let you know that the Beltway boys are coming up next. But, of course, we will continue to keep a sharp eye on these wildfires. Once again, here we go again. They are raging. Malibu, California. Much more coming up on Fox.
I'm Fred Barnes.
And I'm Juan Williams. In for Mort Kondracki, and we're the Beltway boys.
And hot story number one is Turning Point. Now, in Iraq, Juan, nobody's erecting one of those mission accomplished banners, but, in fact, the war is being won. I'm going to run down the list of achievements there. One, Al-Qaeda has been driven out of Baghdad and out of the suburbs of Baghdad and has no stronghold anywhere in the entire country. The Civil War is almost non-existent. The Sunnis, rather than being part of an insurgency, have now thrown in with the U.S. and the government. Syria and Iran, rather than trying to help any insurgency there, since there barely is one, now they've sort of backed off, and the level of violence is down so much that Baghdad is now a city where people are shopping and going around as people normally do. Democrats who oppose the war are having a hard time dealing with this new reality in Iraq. Watch John Murtha, the congressman from Pennsylvania.
Because the Pentagon says it, you believe it? You believe what the Pentagon says? Huh? All the things that they have told us? You believe what? I mean, go back and look. Mission accomplished. Al-Qaeda connection. Weapons of mass destruction. On and on and on. And you believe the Pentagon?
You know, the problem with John Murthy is that it's not the Pentagon in this past week that's been saying how much better things have gotten in Iraq. It's the press, it's skeptical reporters coming in saying these things. Rob Nordland of Newsweek, Damian Caven and Alyssa Rubin of the New York Times, Doug Smith and Saif Rashid of the Los Angeles Times, and a guy we know, General Bob Scales, spent a week there and came back and said the same thing, that progress is really tangible and important.
Well, Fred, I think there's a little bit of seeing things through rose-colored glasses on your side, because the question is, our purpose is not simply to pacify Baghdad like we're a police force going over there. The policy has been to prevent Baghdad from and all of Iraq from becoming a base for terrorism in the future. That's our purpose there. And if so far what we've seen is that the Maliki government has been unable to make any progress on the kind of reconciliation that would allow for a settlement between Sunni and Shia that would stabilize the country politically. General Odierno just said last week, time's running out. We've got about 6 months, I think, before you're going to start to see reductions in the U.S. troop force presence in Iraq. If that's the case, what happens when we leave? And when you suddenly have Shia and Sunni in position, some of them now heavily armed, the question is, are they going to engage in some kind of civil war? Are we really going to have a stable force there, or are we just going to leave and allow chaos to ensue? That's the challenge, and I think that's what, you know, where is the diplomacy that would force Maliki, force people to take advantage of the good work that the U.S. military has done?
Look, I agree that the national government needs to do some things, but look, there are no rose-colored glasses on the part of the press in writing about Iraq. Come on, Juan. All these reporters, they've opposed the war. They've been writing how terrible it is. Improvements go back months and months, and they're finally getting around to recognize them. Look, the truth is, though, reconciliation is happening. For instance, just listen to General Mike Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Watch.
All of the indicators from a security standpoint with respect to violence are headed in the right direction. We've had a significant impact on Al-Qaeda. In addition to the other things that are going on, there's local, there's a provincial reconciliation to some degree going on. We think that's an important thing.
It is an important thing. This is what the New York Times wrote about. Shia and Sunni joining these concerned citizens groups going around and protecting their neighborhoods and driving out any terrorists that were there. You talk about the chances of renewal of a civil war. That's not going to happen. The Sunnis have thrown in with the government. They don't want to have a civil war, and neither do the other Iraqis. The only people that might fight are the Shia militias against some other Shia militia. But other than that, there's really no chance of a civil war. I like what Bob Scales said, you know, when he got back after a week and said, you know, Iraq may have reached the culminating point, which means that the advantage has gone so much to one side, our side, that the outcome is clear. The war may go on for a while, but the outcome is clear. The surge has worked.
Well, the surge is working, and I'm thrilled that it's working.
Good.
You know, but I would just like to see our boys home for the holidays, our boys and girls, men and women. And what I don't see is what happens once they leave. But I reiterate, the surge as a military tactic, as a military strategy, my hat is off to General Petraeus and the men and women on the ground. But when it comes to saying that we have some political stability there, I think that's where you're going overboard and where I worry. I worry because we should be achieving political stability and we don't have it.
Coming up, charges that Barack Obama may have gotten a little too candid with a bunch of New Hampshire high school students, and a series of nasty phone calls in New Hampshire attack Mitt Romney's religion. We'll have the finger pointing and the fallout.
Sunday, an exclusive interview with Fred Thompson. His numbers slipping. How does he plan to turn the tide? And immigration, taxes, national security. Chris Wallace asks the tough questions on Fox News Sunday. The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
Embarrassed by rough, dry, cracked heels? Flexitol Heel Balm has a unique formulation that intensively hydrates and moisturizes feet, leaving them wonderfully soft and healthy. Flexitol, it works.
So, Miss Coat Authority, what's hot? Rich wool, that's hot. Luxurious leathers, that's hot. Saving money, that's hot.
Save big on top brand coats for everyone. Burlington Coat Factory, the Coat Authority.
If
everyone were this cautious during cold and flu season, you wouldn't need to start your day with the vitamins and nutrients in Florida orange juice. Healthy, pure, and simple.
Introducing the D64 series, the slimmest, lightest aquas ever. From the leading innovator in liquid crystal television, Sharp.
Life. How's yours? Lots of drama? Or are you laughing it up? Either way, that's life. Full of all the complexities you can imagine. And for those you can't, there's term life insurance from HSBC. Available online 24 hours a day. Get up to $250,000 in coverage with no agent visits or medical exams. It's fast and easy. Backed by an A+ superior rating from AM Best. And a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to hsbclifepolicy.com now for your free planning guide and personalize the coverage that fits your life. You could be covered in just minutes if you qualify. Securing your family's future has never been easier. It's quick, it's convenient. It's HSBC Insurance. Just call 1-866-419-1500 now or visit hsbclifepolicy.com for your free quote today.
Monday on Fox & Friends, could you be playing favorites with your children and not even know it? We reveal how to spot the signs. Plus, going green this holiday season? The best shopping tips for an eco-friendly Christmas. Fox & Friends, don't miss a moment.
Welcome back to the Beltway Boys. I'm Juan Williams, in for Mort Kondracki. Today's second hot story, Fred, personal politics. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are throwing sticks and stones in the form of words that hurt on the campaign trail, Fred. Obama has been saying that Hillary Clinton will say anything, speaks with forked tongue. And that the example of this is how ambiguous she is on big issues such as driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. In addition, he's also said that she's old school, polarized politics, and she'll polarize the electorate. She's not really going to change the tone and atmosphere in Washington. And he also said that living overseas better prepared him to be a master of foreign policy. Hillary Clinton has fired back. She said, you know what, when it comes to health care, his plan doesn't cover as many people as her plan does. She also said that his claim to have superior foreign policy experience, well, let me read exactly what she said. Voters will judge whether living in a foreign country at the age of 10 prepares one to face the big, complex international challenges the next president will face. I think we need a president with more experience than that. Now, Fred, in the middle of all this mudslinging came our friend, the columnist, our colleague here, Bob Novak. Bob said that sources in Clinton's campaign had told him that he had dirt on Obama. They had dirt on Obama, but they decided not to release it. Kind of a gracious act on their part. Right. Obama then accused Clinton of GOP-style attacks by rumors and cited what had happened to John McCain in 2000, the swift voting of John Kerry in 2004. Then he spoke about mistakes he made, this is Obama, as a young person before an audience of high school kids. Here he is.
You know, I made some bad decisions that I've actually written about. I mean, you know, there were times where I, got into drinking, experimented with drugs, and, there was a whole stretch of time where I didn't really apply myself a lot. And it wasn't until I got out of college, or got out of high school and went to college, that I started realizing, man, I've wasted a lot of time.
Now,
he got criticized for that.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't understand that. I mean, that sounds perfectly all right to me. It's not as if high school kids hadn't heard of somebody trying out drugs and drinking some. And he obviously cleaned up his act. Got out of college, went to Harvard Law School, now he's running for president. So I think it was, and besides, this drug thing, experimenting with drugs, he wrote about that in his book, Dreams of My Father, so it was not that he was revealing some long-held secret. So that struck me as being something that's perfectly all right.
By the way, the latest polls show Obama now climbing into a narrow lead. It's about nip and tuck with Hillary Clinton in Iowa.
I was struck by the initial response of Hillary Clinton's campaign to the Bob Novak story that, you know, that that her campaign had been telling some Democrats, you know, we have this dirt on Obama. And here's what Clinton campaign spokesman Phil Singer said, quote, "This is how Republicans work. A Republican-leaning journalist runs a blind item designed to set Democrats against one another. Experienced Democrats, we know who they are, right? See this for what it is. Others get distracted, and we know who those are. That's Obama, and get thrown off their games. Voters should be concerned about the readiness of any Democrat inexperienced enough to fall for this." Now, look, I know Bob Novak well. He is not a partisan Republican. He's a conservative. He's not a partisan Republican at all. He spends half his columns trashing Republicans. And so the notion that this was some Republican scheme, he said he hadn't talked to any Republicans at all before writing this column. The notion that it was you know, something cooked up by Republicans is nonsense. And I think there's every reason to believe the Bob Novak column is true. And I'll bet you there's one guy who believes every word of it, and that's Barack Obama.
I agree with you. The question is, do you think it ever comes out? I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, let me just say that also on the Republican side, there's been a little bit of dirt being thrown around as well. What you have had is a push poll, you know, a poll that calls up and makes negative suggestions to you in the name of getting your opinion. And the negatives have been aimed at former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, and the negatives have had to do with the fact that he is a Mormon and questions about whether why he didn't serve, I should say, in Vietnam. Also, in this push poll, there have been nice words said about, guess who? Senator John McCain. So now McCain has asked the New Hampshire Attorney General to investigate this to find out who's the source of these polls because he figures it might be a dirty trick. So let's see what Mitt Romney had to say about this.
We celebrate the diversity of different religious thoughts and beliefs. And the idea that people would attack religion at a time like this is frankly un-American. I'm very disappointed in the political process that someone is pursuing to use this kind of underhanded, un-American technique to try and influence a political campaign.
You know, if people don't understand what a push poll is, it would be if I called up and said, you know that Juan Williams? He's a child beater. And then follow up with,
what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think of Juan? Positive or negative? So it, you know, feeds his negative information. You know, Mitt Romney has said that he would like to give a speech sometime like John F. Kennedy's in 1960 about his faith and how he should be treated. But he said his aides are against it. You know what that means? That means he's going to have to give it. He can't capitulate to his age.
This is too tough an issue. And you know what? If you look at the numbers in the polls, Americans are worried about the fact he's Mormon.
Well, that's why he has to talk about it, and I think it'll be a winner for him. Then, you know, I wanted to mention Mike Huckabee as well. He is surging in Iowa. Now, I don't know whether you expected him to be up there in Iowa. I certainly didn't, but there he is. All right. Coming up on the Beltway Boys, will social conservatives really abandon the Republican Party if Rudy Giuliani's the nominee? We'll ask a prominent conservative leader next.
Because Fox is where the news is.
Having trouble getting to work after a car accident? One call to Farmers Help Point could fix that. Farmers Help Point. Sanity makes a comeback.
Houdini the magician escaped from handcuffs in 3 seconds. Houdini the corkscrew opens a wine bottle in 3 seconds. Houdini the magician escaped from an underwater trunk. Presto. Houdini the corkscrew ejects the cork. Presto. Houdini the magician was locked in a straitjacket high over the city and escaped. Houdini the corkscrew was tested for 20,000 cork pulls and never failed. The Houdini corkscrew by Metro Cane.
Some guys, well, they're just plain lucky. Other guys, they earn it through good, hard work. Some guys, they just know it's about being at the right place at the right time. But our guy, well, he just knows how to dress. And that's where it all starts. Van Heusen.
Okay, the presentation's tomorrow, so let's make sure we all know our usual responsibilities. Jeff, you keep feeding me old information. Dean, I need you to continue not living up to your resume. Sue, you're in charge of waffling.
Are you sure?
Jerome, you'll talk a big game, then do nothing. Let's do it. Rick, can you fold under pressure for me?
Like a lawn chair.
And Ted, you just keep thinking everyone's out to get you.
They are.
I'll be at FedEx Kinko's, where they'll help me design, print, copy, and finish the proposal.
Put your presentations together at FedEx Kinko's.
Fred Meyer Jewelers has a gift that will take her breath away, like this 1-carat total weight diamond ring for just $299. You'll save $496 during our 4-day sale.
For all those special times.
Fred Meyer Jewelers.
At Comcast, we love math. For instance, Comcast offers 3 times more HD programming than DirecTV. The converse is also true. DirecTV offers only 1/3 the HD programming of Comcast. Nice one, math. Comcast offers HD On Demand, a fat library of HD movies and shows you can watch whenever. Satellite can't say that, unless they're dreaming one of those fat library of HD movies and shows only Comcast has. Dreams.
During the 4-day sale at Fred Meyer Jewelers, you can surprise her with this 1-carat total weight diamond ring for just $299. You'll save $496.
For all those special times.
Fred Meyer Jewelers.
This week, only on Speed.
We need judges who embrace originalism, endeavor to determine what others meant when they wrote the words of our Constitution. Justices like Justice Scalia, Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, and Chief Justice Roberts. That would be my model.
Welcome back to the Beltway Boys. That was Republican presidential hopeful Rudy Giuliani trying to bolster his conservative credentials. Among those he's trying to convince is Tony Perkins, president of the Family Research Council. Tony, thanks for coming in.
Good to be with you, Fred.
You heard Rudy Giuliani. I know after he appeared at the Value Voter Summit that you organized in Washington a few weeks ago, you talked to him. What does he have to do to get your support? Just reverse his position entirely on abortion?
Well, I think it's going to be very difficult when he holds to a position defending abortion rights to get support from those who have been actively working to return America to being a pro-life country. And I think he's actually treading on some very thin ice, not he himself, because I think he's been very forthright in his comments. But when he talks about strict constructionist judges, he has surrogates that are out there saying, well, that is code, essentially saying that he will appoint judges that will overturn Roe. Now, he's been on the record himself. Larry King, he made this statement on Larry King's show. When I talked to him about it, he was very forthcoming. That does not mean that they would be, that strict constructionists would be judges that would overturn Roe. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have a hard time convincing pro-lifers to abandon that bedrock principle that they've been standing on to get on board his campaign.
Well, let me mention a recent CBS poll that shows 61% of evangelicals would support a less conservative candidate if they thought that candidate had a chance of winning the general election. Wouldn't that apply to Rudy Giuliani, say, if he's running against Hillary Clinton?
Well, if you get 61%, that's not enough. I've seen other polls recently. The Pew Research said 55% of evangelicals would vote for a third-party pro-life candidate if it were between Giuliani and Hillary Clinton. It's not a matter of will he not get any votes. I was in Iowa last weekend meeting with a number of conservative activists. And I'll say that pretty much tracks what I see, is about half would vote for him if it came down to him and Hillary. Others would either find a minor candidate to vote for or simply would not vote at the top of the ticket.
Tony Perkins, Juan Williams, good to be with you. Now, Pat Robertson has endorsed Rudolph Giuliani. The National Right to Life Committee has endorsed Fred Thompson. So let's get to the heart and the soul of the matter. Are you likely to endorse anyone with the power and the significant, I think, stature of the Family Research Council behind that endorsement?
You know, that's not my role. I mean, my role is to help shape public policy, and life is one of those issues. Marriage is one of those issues. Family, another one of the issues. You know, we obviously want folks that we communicate with across the country to know where the candidates stand on the issues. And there's a number of fine candidates running. I mean, you've got about 8 candidates that are dividing up the social conservative vote. One candidate who is out there on the life issue. First time you've had a Republican candidate that's out there, rather I should say, against the life position. The first time you've had a candidate candidate to do that in the Republican ranks for, well, since the 1970s. So, I mean, there are good candidates to pick from. This week, a major development that I think is going to go not just a baby step forward, but a giant leap forward in separating the sheep from the goats, and that was this finding that humans' skin cells can be used for embryonic type stem cells, embryonic type stem cells, which have all the versatility there. So this is going to require...
News, Tony. But let's come back to the campaign for just a second. Let me ask you about someone who is an opponent of abortion, a Baptist minister, and that's the former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Now, he says he's a conservative, but I've heard you say that he's not your kind of conservative, that he's always is qualifying what kind of conservative he is, saying he's not an angry conservative. Do you think he's pointing a finger at you and folks who are on the far right and saying that's not the kind of conservative that he wants to be?
Well, Juan, you know me. I'm not angry. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. You know, I don't think he's pointing a finger at me, but I think that when this is what social conservatives are doing, and I think you guys know this, that the conservative movement has been successful when they've put together really the three key elements of the conservative movement, the social conservatives, the fiscal conservatives, and the foreign policy or defense conservatives. I think we have been very sensitive to our colleagues within the conservative movement. We know we can't elect a president on our own, but in the same respect, we want them to be respectful and not thrust a candidate on us who is the complete opposite on our issues from the positions that we hold. I think that there are some within the ranks of the conservative movement that have concerns over Governor Huckabee, and what we're watching, as I say, we conservatives, I was, as I mentioned, in Iowa last week talking to a number who conservatives who are watching him. A lot are behind his campaign. It's interesting to note that a lot of those actively working in his campaign in Iowa are new to the process. They're not more the seasoned veterans. But I think he's got a lot of promise. He's a very good orator. He connects with people. This is far from decided, though, at this point.
Is Mitt Romney more your type of conservative?
Well, I like his policy positions. You know, earlier in the program you were talking about some of the challenges he has. I think, again, going back just to this very recent trip to Iowa, first it's overcoming the policy changes that he's had on some of these key issues. I in fact, believe that they are genuine. I've talked to him a number of times. I believe that these are his policies, regardless of how he may have come to them, and people can dispute that. But he has really, I think, excuse me, intentionally painted himself into a corner on these issues. These will be his issues if he is to remain politically viable.
Tony, one last quick question on Fred Thompson. He's going down in the polls. Huckabee's going up. So what's happening? Very quickly, in your opinion, what's happening?
Well, again, I think people, social conservatives think with their head and their heart. They want to be touched. They want to be motivated. They want to have a vision for the future. I think in part that Mike Huckabee is tapping into that on the campaign trail. He is a very good speaker. He's connecting with people.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council. And you hang on. Don't go anywhere. The Buzz is up next.
When mucus keeps your child up at night, you need new Mucinex Cough Mini Melts, the great-tasting way to break up mucus and quiet coughing. New Mucinex Cough Mini Melts. Mucinex in, mucus out.
Thank you.
Oh, no thanks. Could have had a V8. 100% vegetable juice with 3 of your daily vegetable servings in every little bottle.
The doctor said to me, Peggy, you don't understand. Pancreatic cancer is inoperable and incurable. And he says, well, Peggy, you've got 2 months to live. It was like he was telling me, go to the store. There was no compassion. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. My life was an hourglass. I was home, laying on the couch, just dying. My sister Pam called the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. When I got there, I knew that I was going to be cared for. I met with the doctor after the tests were done and said, how long do I have? And he looked at me and he said, Peggy, we did a lot of tests on you, and I never saw one thing stamped on the bottom of your foot that said you were going to die in 2 months. You have no expiration date. I thought, wow,
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is unlike any other cancer hospital, full of hope, committed to your fight. We use every weapon: surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, nutrition, spiritual support, and mind-body medicine. We surround you with a real team, working together, all under one roof.
Each time I went back to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, I responded better. My tumors are shrinking. Came back in September again, and they still couldn't see anything. I said, "You're kidding me." We'll see how it goes. We'll keep testing, but we can't see the tumors anymore.
Please call the number on your screen to speak with an oncology information specialist and receive a life-changing information kit and DVD packed with valuable information. Call now and learn about treatment options you may not even know exist.
It's really unbelievable how one doctor can tell me I have 2 months to live, and then I go to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America and they saved my life. Hope is a mainstay. Hope is everything.
Don't give up. Your fight is our fight. Call Cancer Treatment Centers of America today.
People know that if there are experts who can help prevent a problem, they should call them. So if you've got an adjustable rate mortgage that will soon climb to a much higher payment, or one that already has, call Ditech today, your Fix Your Arm headquarters. Find out how you may be able to lower your payments each month by refinancing into a low fixed rate. And Ditech has never had hidden costs, so you pay just our low $395 flat fee. Don't wait. Call Ditech now at 1-800-DITECH-1.
What's the buzz, Juan?
You know, Mitt Romney, Fred, has had thousands, more than 10,000 ads up on the air, but Rudy Giuliani is just now getting an ad up in the air in New Hampshire, and apparently, according to his sources in his campaign, is doing pretty well. Introducing him. Can you imagine? People just don't know him. A large percentage of voters, it turns out, are unfamiliar with exactly who is Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, you know, I've seen that ad. It's about what he did in New York City. It's a very effective ad. You know, what's happened in Iraq now with these great progress there, these improvements there, and the pacification now of Baghdad and almost the entire country, this is going to change the politics of America. That will look different next year when there's the election than it does now. All right, that's all for the Beltway Boys this week. Join us next week when the boys and Mort will be back in town. All right.
This week on Fox News Watch, as we observe the oldest of traditional holidays, we talk about the newest of revolutionary technologies, the brave new world of blogs. They helped bring down an anchorman. Although it's still 2007, they're already changing the 2008 presidential race. But how? Answers, analysis, and some wild guesses after the headlines.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Courtney Friel. A fast-moving wildfire is tearing across Malibu. Let's get right to Casey Stiegel, who's live on the scene. Casey, what's going on?
Well, Courtney, they're burning right back here behind me in the hills of Malibu. At this hour, 35 homes have been consumed by the flames. Some 2,200 acres have been destroyed. And we're understanding at this hour that 14,000 people have been evacuated from their homes here in Malibu. The firefighters having a very difficult time of getting this under control because of the Santa Ana winds. They're gusting up to 50 miles an hour at times, only fanning the flames and also carrying the flames as well. Of course, Fox News is going to be here throughout the day and have another update for you just as soon as we can. Courtney?
All right, we hope the situation gets better. Thank you so much, Casey Stiegel. Now let's stay tuned for Fox News Watch, where I make a guest appearance on the show. Have a great day, everyone. And for all the latest headlines, log on to foxnews.com.
On the Fox News Watch panel this week, 4 experts on blogs, writers of them, readers of them, analysts of them. Well, 3 experts and Jim. That would be Jim Pinkerton of Newsday, Rachel Sklar of the Huffington Post, Courtney Friel of FoxNews.com, who reports on blogs for the channel, and Rich Lowry, the editor of the National Review, which has blogs, and Rich reads them. I'm Eric Burns. Fox News Watch is on right now. According to the website Technorati, only 111.4 million blogs have been tracked this year. But 120,000 new weblogs are being created worldwide each day, And the number of blogs has doubled from March and April in 2006 to March 2007. And Rachel, it's a subject that some people don't even know about. Those who do know about them think they may be the most important development in journalism in a long time. Let's start at the beginning. A blog or a weblog is what?
Well, technically a blog is an online journal of some sort where the entries are in reverse chronological order. And the entries are known as posts, and you post to your blog, and you say whatever you want in it. So a blog can be about what you had for lunch that day. I had soup.
Would there be a big audience for people wanting to know what you had for lunch today?
You know what? There's some lunch fetishists out there, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Those are scary people, by the way.
I had soup. And there are also obviously blogs about certain topics. There are sports blogs and gossip blogs and media blogs, and that's what I do at the Huffington Post.
And you, Jim, get yourself a blog if you want a blog by doing what?
You go to a place like blogspot.com and sign up. It's free. It's easy. 10, 20 years ago, we all talked about the 500 channel universe, you know, the cable and so on. Well, what we really got is the 500 million channel universe. In the spirit of YouTube, everybody gets their own channel now. That's not television, it's the internet. But with video, it's sort of the same thing. And of course, the problem is, as you alluded to, there's no guarantee anybody's going to watch. It might just be you. It might just be a totally narcissistic phenomenon, like that Time magazine cover about the mirror on the of yourself there. But it is fun. People do it, and some of them have genuinely gotten an audience.
And that's what they want, isn't it? I mean, if everybody has a blog, no one will watch because there is no audience. Everybody is a performer. So the goal here is to get a blog, Courtney, that somehow attracts attention.
I'm sure they want to make money, too, from Google ads. But
sure.
Can you believe there are 1.4 new blogs added every single second? And that's the thing. There are so many blogs out there you can get good information from, but there's a lot of hatred, and you just have to know where to look. And for me, when I started getting into this, I was really, really overwhelmed because there's just so much information. It seems they all link to each other. So my suggestion is to go to Google Reader, find what you like, and you can get RSS feeds that link. And so when your favorite person that you're reading posts a new blog, it actually comes up all on one page.
Now Courtney, Eric, of course, knows what RSS stands for, but maybe you can tell the rest of us.
You know, the funny thing is I don't even know exactly what I don't know what it is. It's just an RSS feed. Everyone just knows it. I've asked that question. No one knows.
It's really simple syndication.
Really simple syndication. But how do you choose? You've got all these choices, Rich, and would you, for instance, if you were looking, you had 10 minutes in the day and you thought, gee, I'll spend these 10 minutes blogging. Would you see if a person who you really admired was a blogger? Would you choose a topic? Would you idly riffle through the pages, the old-fashioned terminology, let's say it's figurative, of all the blogs to see what's there?
Sure. Look, there's a real food chain here, and there's some top-rated blogs, and all these 1.4 blogs that are being created every second, most of them will never be read at all. And there are a couple factors that go into this. There are established media figures who are already pretty big political writers who start blogs, who have kind of a built-in audience. And then your more pure bloggers who just no one had heard of. They're smart lawyers or just smart people in general out there who just follow politics and began posting their own thoughts. And when they're really good and they're really informative, they get an audience that's as big or bigger than those establishment figures who are blogging.
But how do they initially get people to know that they are there?
Well, I think the key there is branding. I mean, nothing really in the new media environment is that much different than the old media. The more things change, the more they say the same. A big name who creates a blog will get an audience. Ariana Huffington was a big name before she had the Huffington Post, and then she naturally was a magnet for people to come to it. James Wolcott from Vanity Fair.
You got to have both, though. You got to have the content. You got to have the impetus, the driving impetus behind blogs is that passion that leads to the immediate reaction.
But it's name ID that you have to people. It's like advertising. It's like holding up a sign.
But
people
what
have to know
happens
who
to answer your question?
Marcos Moulitsas was before he started posting. I mean, it's through, and it's what Rich was saying, it's through the generation of good, strong content.
Yeah, it's really based on merit and on links. So someone named Marcos that no one's heard of before starts blogging stuff that I find reprehensible, but others might really like.
We can talk about that.
But when people like it, they link to it, and and then eventually readers get to it, and if they like it, the audience builds. So there's real meritocracy to this.
But initially, now I remember reading about Arianna Huffington's post in the newspaper before it actually came online. It seems to me that would be the best thing that could happen to you, is that before you come online with your blog, you somehow get some publicity which lets people know that you're going to be there, as opposed to your being there and hoping people are going to find you.
Oh, sure. Well, no one would come to my blog if I wasn't on TV saying, go to CourtneyFriel.com. It helps to have some name recognition, and I think you just have to have a spark, something that people are interested in seeing.
The blog phenomenon is embedded in the larger phenomenon of the social network. Things like MySpace and Facebook allow people to pull together the networks of who they are, and if they say, by the way, I started a blog, now come and watch, and people, if they like you, will.
We have to take a break. We will be back with more on blogs, specifically their impact on political coverage.
I know there are a couple, especially like left-leaning blogs or right-leaning blogs. You find your own niche, like the kind of news you want to hear. You can find out people's opinions on the blog. I like it. It's interesting.
Always elegant, always refined. Santa Margherita Pinot Grigio. The most requested imported wine in fine restaurants. Taste is the difference. Experience Santa Margherita from Terrelato Wines International.
This holiday with Crest White Strips Premium, you'll bring home a smile that can't be missed. See whiter teeth after just 3 days. Full results in 7. Share a whiter smile. Crest White Strips Premium.
Last winter I had a heart attack. I believe Bayer saved my life. The doctor said, take the Bayer now. If I didn't have it, I might not be here. And then who'd take the spider out of the bathtub?
Genuine Bayer aspirin. Painkiller, lifesaver.
I expect to stick around for a while.
Bayer, expect wonders. Bayer Children's Aspirin is now Bayer Chewable Aspirin. Same children's aspirin, new name, new look.
Life. How's yours? Lots of drama? Or are you laughing it up? Either way, that's life. Full of all the complexities you can imagine. And for those you can't, there's term life insurance from HSBC. Available online 24 hours a day. Get up to $250,000 in coverage. With no agent visits or medical exams. It's fast and easy. Backed by an A+ superior rating from AM Best. And a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to hsbclifepolicy.com now for your free planning guide and personalize the coverage that fits your life. You could be covered in just minutes if you qualify. Securing your family's future has never been easier. It's quick, it's convenient. It's HSBC Insurance. Just call 1-866-419-1500 now or visit hsbclifepolicy.com for your free quote today.
Communicate in less than a second with Nextel Direct Connect.
Nice work.
The largest and fastest push-to-talk network on the planet. That's getting it done at sprint speed. Visit sprint.com/Nextel.
Imagine that you give a laptop to a child. That one child can come up with these great ideas. You give them the power to learn, the power to connect with all ideas around the world. Imagine the difference that we can make. Our goal is 1 laptop per child. And now you can help. Donate a laptop to a child in a developing nation and get one for the child in your life. Between November 12th and November 26th, you can help a child learn, help a child connect with the world, 1 laptop at a time.
I think that like political blogs that people talk about in the news, I think their influence is grossly overstated.
What I would say instead, Rich, and that's usually a setup I use for Jim because it gives him a way to jump in and criticize me immediately. So let me see if I do any better with you. The way I would put it is that blogs don't seem to me in and of themselves terribly important these days, but as prodders, as sources for the major networks. The Dan Rather example for one, it was a blog or two that pushed the whole Memogate thing. Isn't the important thing politically now with blogs not what they're doing themselves, but the extent to which they can force bigger media outlets into the fray?
I agree with you, Eric, and that's a brilliant question. That's what you wanted to hear, wasn't it?
One of the two, but I didn't need both.
Jim's still not coming back here.
Thank you.
It's still basically blogs. If you look at the surveys of how many people actually read them, it's still kind of an insider elite phenomenon, but much less so. I mean, the spread, their reach is growing, but they have a huge influence on the people who follow things closely, both politically and in terms of the media world, and that's why they have an outsized influence.
Let's stay in the media world. 2008 election. What will the effect of blogs be?
But just to illustrate the point, in 2006, the blogosphere was largely responsible for getting Joe Lieberman defeated inside the Democratic Party in Connecticut. Okay, the left-wing bloggers all hated him. And then, of course, he didn't get the Democratic nomination. He ran as independent and won the election. So the limitations of the blogs there. So I think the same thing is true in 2008. There's no question the blogosphere right now the left-wing blogosphere has it in for Hillary Clinton. They're clobbering her all the time. Now, whether they can derail her in Iowa remains to be seen, but I don't think, pursuing what both you and Rich have said, that they'll have a big effect in the general election compared to the primary. Because there just aren't, as Rich said, there just aren't that many of them. The real engines of political coverage are still TV, radio, and print.
Right, but I think that was Rich's point, is that the people who are in control of those media are reading influential bloggers. And I think that actually is a great point. It's not so much how many eyeballs you have, but which eyeballs you have. But I think that you just can't characterize blogs as sort of a limited and an elite situation anymore, not with the number that are out there and not with the audience that they have.
And these bloggers are holding the media accountable. I mean, whether you're news hounds and you're hating on Fox News, or whether you're news busters and you're picking on the liberal bias that's out there, or whether you're TMZ. I mean, look what they did with Michael Richards and Mel Gibson. You're making sure everyone stays on their toes, and that's what bloggers are good for, I think.
And TMZ, is, as far as I know, is the only blog that has already grown into a television show.
Absolutely.
So
it's a great show.
But hey, Eat the Press is ready. Eat the Press is ready.
But Courtney's quite right. For example, Mark Finkelstein at Newsbusters was the first one to really get his hands on this picture of Barack Obama in Iowa at a 4th of July singing of the national anthem, and Hillary and Chris Dodd and everybody else are putting their hands on their chest like you're supposed to, over your heart, for the anthem, and Obama's just sort of standing there. And I think that picture is rocketed around the blogosphere. It made Fox News. It probably made other media outlets as well. And that will have a big effect, I think, on the future of 08 politics.
I think these media watchdog outfits and blogs are extremely important, and the scheme of things is a very good development. But when you talk about them, you also have to talk about excess, because a lot of these sites, they're just throwing spaghetti up against the wall, complaining about everything. Everything's a scandal. Everyone's biased one way or the other, and some of it sticks. So David Brock's site, Media Matters, will take down a Don Imus. But then for every takedown of Don Imus, you have an absurd charge against Rush Limbaugh that doesn't make any sense and really doesn't go anywhere.
No sense at all. Rush is never over the line.
But that's right, because Media Matters went after Bill O'Reilly. They wanted to do the same treatment on Bill O'Reilly, and they broke their pick on him.
Tell me if the blogs have had any effect so far on the perception of viewers on the presidential debates.
Oh, I think that the bloggers went to work on Hillary on her laugh. When the announcement a few weeks ago, she was on all the networks, and she was had this delayed reaction laugh, and that Jon Stewart picked that up. I saw it on YouTube. I saw it all over the place. They're setting up a snarky insider quality that, interestingly enough, is accessible to everybody because the internet is so small d democratic.
But I think it's also they're the first responders, and so you've seen blogs spring up at the New York Times and all the other, and Time has gotten really in there on the web. And so after all the debates, they're being live blogged now, because we do them at the Huffington Post, and we were one of few to start, and now everybody and their brother's got a live blog.
They're first responders, and they're also accelerators, because they can really amplify trends, and sometimes because of that exaggerate them in a way that doesn't really have any bearing in reality.
And another way for them to get attention, there's Daily Kos and Fox News. Now, I don't know who started picking on whom there, but regardless, many more people know that website than did before. It was Bill Riley, I think, who initially found it full of highly objectionable material. Tried to get a soundbite from the sponsoring organization of the Daily Kos convention. Didn't. Played the subject up. And now...
Well, that is an issue, and that is that, let's face it, if you have an open posting situation where anybody can put a comment on, they can throw anything they want on there, and you're under some responsibility, this is yet to be kind of worked out legally and ethically, to clean it up. And if you don't, then it sticks to you.
Let me stop you there on legally and ethically. Will there come a time, does there have to come a time when there is some kind of regulation of blogs? As you just pointed out with the spaghetti on the wall, I mean, some of those strands should not be thrown in the first place.
But I think regulation is just a bad idea, and I think this is something probably right and left would agree on. The best solution to posts that are stupid or excessive is having other people point out that they're stupid and excessive, and there are plenty of people out there to do that.
Well,
but how do you know, Courtney, who to believe?
Oh, there are tons of haters out there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You don't know who to believe. I think you just have to go to the objective places. That's what I try to do. And I've actually turned my attention, because I have ADD at times, to these video loggers. Have you heard of a vlog? They actually take the content from the blogs and make a creative show. It's bringing out a lot of creativity in these people on YouTube.
But as a final comment, Jim, it seems to me it puts an awful lot of responsibility on the people who watch the blogs to make up their minds about what to believe.
It does, but listen, I will say this. The laws against slander and libel and defamation have not been changed. There will be legal cases here, and we'll discover, like I said, the more things change, the more they say the same, that the blogs really aren't that much different than the old media in terms of the responsibility they bear. It's just a method of publication.
We have to take one more break. Our leftovers from Thursday won't keep forever, but we will have more to say about blogs, including the 5 most influential people behind the top blogs in this country.
Can you tell me what a blog is?
A blog? Isn't that red thing from the movies back in the days when they used to like go underneath the...
No, it's online. It's when you have
like a personal...
You talk about stuff online and you can put your own views and opinions about people or issues online, yes.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
My fellow Americans, I'm a PC.
Why so official?
Well, some people are giving up on Vista Mac because it doesn't work the way they want it to. Other people are going back to XP.
Really? Downgrading?
Yes, but we PCs won't give up. If your printer isn't compatible with Vista, I say, buy a new printer. If Mac's new Leopard operating system has dozens of new features, I say, ignore them. Ask not what Vista can do for you. Ask what you can buy for Vista.
Wow, you're really committed to this.
Oh, not really. I switched back to XP 3 weeks ago. So much happier.
Introducing the D64 series, the slimmest, lightest Aquas ever. From the leading innovator.
Hey, the holidays are with us once again, and we are with the owners of Mattress World, Sherry and John Heiner, once again, celebrating a giant Thanksgiving weekend sale. Sherry, you've got something the competition really cannot touch.
We have mattresses starting at $89 each piece when you buy the set. That's twin, full, queen, or king.
And that's at all Mattress World locations. Now, Sherry, you've got a queen pillow top.
Queen size pillow top set for just $4.99, and that includes 2 free pillows.
I tell you, if you have relatives coming in, it's great. John's selection is just terrific.
Largest selection in the Northwest. Sealy, Simmons, Stearns & Foster, Carrington Chase, Comfortpedic, Englander, you name it, we have it. Memory foam, latex, air beds, inner spring mattresses. It's all under one roof.
And it's all available with great terms.
1 year, no interest, no payment.
Hey, John, something ends this weekend.
This is the final weekend. To buy a bed, get a second bed free. It's a $500 value, and it's free to you.
Hey, Mattress World all weekend long celebrating a giant Thanksgiving sale. That's Mattress World. Where?
It's not too late to sleep like a baby.
Hi, Brad Tonkin once again at Wilsonville Nissan. With record low prices, we're making it hard to choose. You could drive home this 2007 Murano with leather, moonroof, and luxury features for only $24,888. Then again, the rugged 2007 Xterra with four-wheel drive and power everything is only $28,888. And to make it even harder, we have 10 acres of inventory. We're clearing them out here at Tonkin Wilsonville Nissan. Just off I-5, take the North Wilsonville exit 286 west to 95th, or visit us at Tonkin.com. All for the love of cars.
Comcast and ESPN are teaming up. College football lives here, and to see it, all you need is the ESPN Game Plan pay-per-view package. With key matchups and rivalries from major conferences, you'll get up to 12 extra games every Saturday. Order now for this special weekly offer with ESPN Game Plan presented by Olivia. Watch live college football games online all season long on ESPN360.com. Don't miss all the sports action this month on Comcast.
Do you blog? Do you write blogs or anything?
Yeah, I write a blog on MySpace just about what's going on in life and stuff. It's pretty good. Your friends know how you feel, your mood and stuff. It's pretty good.
I write a blog for my company. It's write about technology today and how we can help advance it all the time.
I want to read the blog about what's going on in life and stuff. You know, to me, that sounds like the most important subject a blog could handle. Neither one of those gentlemen, Courtney, is among the most influential of bloggers yet. Who, in your view, are?
Well, that's why I'm going to go first, because I know you guys are all going to talk political, but I'm going to talk entertainment. Hands down, it has to be Harvey Levin. He was a lawyer. He's got the legal background. He was a journalist, so he has the journalistic credibility. He knows people in the industry. He knows people in the courtroom, and they're pretty accurate. TMZ, the 30 miles
which we mentioned.
TMZ.com and now TMZ TV as well. And I'm a fan, and I think he has a lot of power, and he can take down people, and really now celebrities have to watch what they do. If you were on TV at any point, if I was walking down the street, I could possibly get on the show for doing something bad, but I'm a good person.
Be careful, Courtney.
We wish you luck. Jim?
Well, I think that, like the auto industry 100 years ago, there's thousands of, back then there were thousands of auto companies, and now there's just too many blogs to really pick one that's really famous. If you do politics, then I think, and you do the left, I think you'd have to say Talking Points Memo is sort of the most influential on the left. On the right, I think you'd have to say National Review Online. It's the one place that conservatives know they're going to get their daily dose of a wide range of opinions. And I think it's got a real, in fact, you say NRO to anybody in Washington and they know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with Jim because I would say the Huffington Post is the most influential political blogger on the left, but we also we welcome all viewpoints.
We meaning you work for the Huffington Post.
I do. I assume that was made clear at the top of the show, but yes, I work for the Huffington Post. But because it would be in poor taste for me to nominate my boss, Arianna Huffington, I'll go with Jeff Jarvis from Buzz Machine, who is very much a proponent of the freedom of information and has been a big pusher of that.
Jim, thank you for your kind words about National Review Online. I would say he's not.
Rachel, for your disagreement.
He's not a blogger, but I think the king of online media is Matt Drudge. I think he's more influential among conservatives than liberals, but I think so many people in the political world, in the media, take their cues from him. And you have, even the Hillary Clinton campaign now leaking stuff to Matt Drudge.
And it's simply a matter of so many people reading him, so many people trusting him.
So many people reading him because they know that's where they're going to get the hot tips first.
A lot of which are wrong.
Hold on. He's not strictly speaking, Drudge is not a blogger. I mean, it's a website, and it is the dirty secret of the liberal media is they all watch it too, but it's an agenda. It's definitely an agenda setter.
I have to stop you to say that is all the time we have left this week. Thanks to Courtney Friel, Jim Pinkerton, Rachel Sklar, Rich Lowry, and I'm Eric Burns thanking you for watching. Now stay tuned to Fox for the latest news and more coming right up.
My name is Roberta Smith. I am 100 years old, and I'm very proud of it. I'm happy. I live my life like I want to. I never thought I would live to be 100. Never crossed my mind.
Retirement Income Solutions from Genworth Financial can give you retirement income you can't outlive, no matter how long that may be. Genworth Financial, insurance for living, solutions for life.
Happy Honda Days are here again, which means your Honda dealer is offering great deals on every car in stock. This holiday season is the perfect time to get into a new Accord, popular Civic, fun-loving Fit, or any Honda you desire. Just choose your favorite color and think Honda for the holidays. Lease a Honda Accord for $259 a month for well-qualified customers.
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare Supplement insurance card too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
Who answered all my questions about Medicare Supplement plans.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you thousands of dollars. These are the only Medicare Supplement Insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit, plus this free guide to understanding Medicare.
I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
and I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call 1-800-293-2965. Now, a personal health insurance advisor is waiting.
Introducing a world first. Braun Pulsonic. Powered by unique sonic pulses, over 10,000 microvibrations help expose and shave more hair with every stroke for Braun's most thorough shave ever. The new Braun Pulsonic, powered by unique sonic pulses. Voted best electric shave ever. Braun Pulsonic. It's the perfect gift.
Sunday, inside America's prisons, inmates are packed together like sardines, and drugs, gangs, and riots plague the system.